Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Higurashi, Chapter 2, titled Watanagashi. I think we might be seeing the festival today. We're only starting Chapter 5, but things have taken an interesting twist. We now have a new character in the form of Shion, in addition to Mion. And we seem to be a lot friendlier with the villagers this time. Maybe we won't get murdered, or maybe they'll at least like us and say, sorry, we have to kill you. I, for one, am hoping that Shion protects us, because she's awesome. Of course, some of you wonderful people are just here for the cute anime girls, so we probably shouldn't deprive you of those. I knew we wouldn't be doing any club activities after school today before Mion even said anything. I'd been invited over by Shion for an all-you-can-eat dessert. I made a point of leaving half my lunch uneaten. My expectations would only be rivaled by my hunger. Keiichi-kun, you seem kind of happy today. Did something happen? Did it? I guess it was obvious. Reina had questioned me with a happy look. Oh, that's right. Why don't I invite Reina for dessert as well? No, if I recall correctly, she said something about having a ticket. Yeah, you need tickets to get into the tasting area. At worst, the restaurant might be admission by ticket only. If that was the case, having Reina be turned away at the door would result in the worst feeling ever. Yep, I got a little lucky. I'll tell you about it tomorrow. Reina, you'll definitely be jealous. Oh, what is it? I'm jealous. This lucky thing, is it cute? Is it cute? I wonder what Reina would think of the uniforms at Angel Moore. They'd definitely be a critical hit. Probably. It's probably pretty cute. What? I'm jelly. What is it? What kind of fortune were you blessed with, huh? Could it be you participated in the draw at Angel Moore 2 months ago? And won? Hey, I haven't even been here 2 months. Oh, that's right. Then it's not the Angel Dessert Festa then. Michan, what's the Angel Dessert Festa exactly? You know, there's that family restaurant called Angel Moore, right by Okonomiya Station. Every season they hold an event to promote their new dessert menu. That's today. Oh, it's no use going. The restaurant's reserved for people who won the draw. Mion explained once again what Shion explained to me last night. Reina's gonna have to stop by the restaurant sometime. I'll do my best to draw a winning ticket and aim to enter the next all-you-can-eat event. Haha, knock yourself out. By the way, this is just something I heard, but there's a rumor that tickets are being sold on the black market for a pretty penny. Hearing that story, I felt even more appreciative of the ticket that Shion had procured for me. I just thought I was lucky to be able to eat the dessert for free, but it turned out the ticket was much more valuable. The number of things I had to thank Shion for had increased again. Damn, we're really gonna have to repay Shion. I feel like we're seriously in debt to her. Thanks, I didn't know it was worth so much. I whispered in a voice only Mion could hear. That was how I conveyed my feelings. Mion looked at me for a moment before she tilted her head to the side and smiled confusedly. What? Did you say something? It'd be a problem if you said something to me right now. That smile seemed to be telling me as much. I guess Mion wouldn't be accepting any gratitude while she was Mion. I'll go to the restaurant. Today I'll thank Mion while she's Shion. Well then, this old man will take his leave here. The work today is gonna be a little rough. Later. Mion waved her hand energetically as she left. Is it just me, or is it like really weird? Like every time we're gonna meet with Shion, Mion's mysteriously busy? Hey Keiichi-kun, Michan's been kinda weird lately. Like she's elated or something. What? You think so? Reina was pretty sharp when it came to these types of things. To me, Mion seemed the same as always, but Reina apparently felt something different. You don't know, Keiichi-kun? I totally thought you knew. Reina's skirt fluttered as she spun around with a coy smile. No, what exactly? It was obvious I was weaseling my way out of the question, but I wasn't lying. Honestly, I didn't really know what was going on. Why Shion, a persona of Mion that she'd created, appear before me? Something's up, but Reina paid it no heed. Oh really? I wonder what it is then. When Michan's in a good mood, so is Reina. Saying that, she spread her arms wide and spun around happily. Well, I'm good. I'm glad Reina's in a good mood. Things seem to be going well for our whole group today. I didn't know why, but Reina was in a really good mood. It was so infectious, I had to smile too. Even the chirping of the cicadas seemed joyful. But, you see? Reina abruptly stopped spinning. Her expression returned to a more somber one. You see, Mi-chan, lately, she's been in a lot of pain. What do you mean? Pain? The pain that Reina was talking about probably wasn't physical. At first she tried to pretend it wasn't a big deal, but like a wound, it began to fester and grow. Eventually she was no longer able to bear the pain and woke up in the middle of the night. And then she phoned Reina. Mi-chan was crying. Oh dear, Mion's not doing well. I'm sorry, what happened? What are you talking about? What am I talking about? What is Reina talking about? What? Hey, don't play dumb like that. You were just trying to say something. I don't know. Reina doesn't know anything. Reina's just like, I didn't say anything, never mind, whoops. Didn't mean to say that. Reina spun around as she laughed innocently. Eventually, she appeared to get sick, stumbling as she steadied herself with her hand against the wall. The room's spinning. That was dumb. This is what you get for getting carried away and spinning like that. She's spinning like my favorite spin command. Sorry, I feel sick. I'll lend the ditz a shoulder to lean on. Be stumbling around like a newborn foal at this age is actually quite a feat. Yeah, you gotta spin for a good minute to do that. Reina, in a good mood, only babbled incoherently after that. I laughed as I responded to and chided her. However, the chance to revisit that heavy topic Reina brought up before never arrived. Of course, that's why she's distracting you by doing something dumb and silly. As soon as I got home, I tossed my school bag aside and changed in a hurry. The effects of only having a light lunch were starting to show, as my stomach began to let out fickle growls. Alright, let's go to Angel Mort. It's time to face the land of endless dessert. Preparations for battle complete. Tally-ho! Wonder what he would have said in Japanese. He is saying tally-ho in English. A curious line, to be sure. Angel Mort had a decidedly different feel to it compared to yesterday. Okay. Dessert Festa today. Admittance by reservation only. Nonetheless, the front of the store was being swarmed by over a dozen young men. Judging by how they were looking upwards in jealousy instead of entering the store, they weren't invitees. Why would they gather here if they knew they couldn't get in? I found out the answer when I passed through the crowd and began to climb the steps to enter. Are you a participant? Do you have a ticket? Yeah, well, I was lucky. As soon as I said that, I was immediately mobbed. It was like being in the middle of a football scrum on a crowded train. What's going on? The reason was this. It wasn't just one ticket per person. One ticket could let up to 4 people inside. So it's like that, huh? Seems I should have invited Reina and the others. Thanks for the tip, but I'll pretend I didn't hear that. With an uplifting smile, I turned and ignored them. When I did, their arms all reached out at once, like the souls of the damned seeking sucker. That ticket can admit up to 4 people. Please bring us with you. What selfish people. This was the only reason they were crowded in front of the restaurant? Dozens of wretched arms reached out for me like the teeth of a giant rake and grasped at the air. I was already climbing the stairs to the entrance. The heartless dick! Grab him! This isn't something to joke about. I flew up the rest of the stairs and threw myself inside the restaurant. It was like I entered a different world. The miserable throng of the damned hurled curses at me from the other side of the glass door. But inside of this completely soundproofed and air-conditioned restaurant, air-conditioned, that would be so nice. Soundproof and air-conditioned. That's exactly what you want to hear about any room you're in. Unless you're gonna get murdered in Danganronpa, then it's probably bad to be soundproof. With the angelic smile of a waitress to welcome me, there was nothing more than a refreshing piece of scenery. I knew I shouldn't laugh, but I began to let out a sinister cackle. Good afternoon. Welcome to Angel Malt. Due to today's dessert fiesta, the restaurant's reserved for customers who won the draw. Can I ask your name and ticket? I don't have a ticket, but I should be on the guest list. Maibara? My Bara. Ah, there it is. Sorry, may I please have your full name? Keiichi Maibara. Keiichi Maibara. Alright, 007, that's how you're gonna give it your name. Apologies for the inconvenience. You're here by special invitation, right? I'll show you to your seat. Please, this way. We're not here by ticket, we're here by special invitation. Oh my. That sounds fun. That's extra special. Shion's really rolling out the welcome mat for us. God damn. The mood inside the room was incredibly heated. The booths were packed to the brim. Men in their prime were stuffing their faces with dainty desserts that didn't suit them at all. It was a rather unnerving spectacle. Soon, after I was shown to my seat, Shion arrived. Good afternoon. Welcome to Angelmore. Hey Shion, thanks so much for today. I really appreciate it. You're a bit late, so I was getting worried. I'm really happy you came though. It may have been because the other customers were around that her tone was less casual, but she still capped off that welcome with her usual brilliant smile. As you can see, there's a lot of customers here today. I'm not sure I'll be able to take a break. Please take your time and relax until I'm finished. When I'm done, let's go play somewhere, okay? Whispering just that last part into my ear, Shion winked and returned to the kitchen. Maybe it was because the mood in the restaurant was so heated, but Shion seemed a bit bolder. Shion's being exceptionally flirtatious. It's a lot of fun. Especially because she's cute. Although, I feel like our character is seriously indebted to her. Come on, we gotta repay her somehow. Even a small change in her mannerisms was enough to set my heart aflutter. At least I can say Keiichi isn't being exceptionally thirsty. Or creepy. I'm pretty sure it's like 90% Shion hitting on him. Alright, sorry to keep you waiting. While I was overwhelmed by the atmosphere inside the restaurant, orders from the new summer menu were carried out one after another. Every single one was extravagantly huge. I get it. You can eat all these amazing things for free. No wonder a ticket was worth its weight in gold. On top of that, all of it was plenty delicious. From dishes with a general... Okay, I just want to stop here. This is the picture they chose for this dessert fiesta. They could have had like... They could have gotten like a background picture with like a massive ice cream sundae or something like that, or some crazy dessert. Instead, it's like a picture of a regular ass menu. We have like bread and pasta. I feel a little bit let down by the background imagery here. It's not just a picture of the restaurant. It's actually like a menu, but it's not like the dessert menu. It's not even a dessert menu, come on. From dishes with general appeal to insane ones aimed at a niche audience, there were absolutely no gaps in their repertoire. This is a little better. No matter how you look at it, I don't think one person can eat this much. Let's just leave it at that for now. It didn't feel relaxing in here at all, probably because the fervor inside the restaurant was clearly abnormal. All the other seats were crammed with groups of 4, sleazy men gorging like pigs on cutely decorated desserts. And it wouldn't have been a surprise if they started licking the plates. It was more than a little unsettling. It piqued my interest, so I started listening on their conversation. And what things I heard! Angel more, so more. Me? I bought my ticket for 70,000 on auctions. 70,000 yen? Isn't that like $700? No. That's like $700 US, right? I told's work. I was attending a relative's funeral. This guy used I told's work that I was attending a relative's funeral, alright. Uniforms here are the greatest. I wonder if the waitress could wipe it for me. I spilled some water in my pants right meow. Meow me. I heard they're planning on selling Angel Mort figures. We'll have to pay heed at the next Wonder Festival. It sells used Angel Mort uniforms on the 4th floor of something in Akiba. But they cost 280,000 yen. Holy shit. That's an absurd price. And will cost 80,000 when Broba closed down. The going rate for theirs was 12,000. That's the price for used ones. Knockoffs are less than half of that. A knockoff from wherever is fine with me. I wonder if they'll start selling them. I'll put on my life-size figure I bought off something for several $100,000. 500 US. Okay. So this guy paid like 541 US for his ticket. Mind you, it does supply unlimited desserts for a group of 4. But I mean, I don't know how much dessert you can actually eat unless you're like a professional eater. And it's like ice cream desserts, like that's really rich. Usually I think like one dessert's probably enough for most people. And one dessert's like $10, right? Like one dessert's like, okay, let's go for expensive desserts. They could be like 50 each. Like an expensive dessert from a dessert place, easily like 50. I wouldn't say that like 125 per person is worth it though. I guess if you really like desserts, they're like ultra gourmet and it's like a one-time thing, maybe, but I don't know. Probably not something I'd spend money on, but hey, if that's what you like, go for it. This guy has a life-size figure of one of the waitresses from Angel Mort? I can wake up every day to an angel from Angel. That'll really get my gears going. The words spilling out of their mouths were pretty much all incomprehensible jargon, but they still keenly conveyed that hidden behind them was an invisible aura of abnormality. Sorry to keep you waiting. The next dessert is tropical cinnamon love affair. Is something the matter? No, it's kind of different inside the restaurant today. Our restaurant's pretty famous in their circles. Well, we were aiming for that, so it's all well and good. But during festas, there's something of the more hardcore crowd, so it can be a handful. The waitress informed me quietly with a wry smile. The customers seem rather riled up, almost like a pack of hyenas. It seems a lot of them came from unreasonably far away. Those types of people are fairly prone to losing their self-control, so it's a little scary. If you don't keep your guard up, something bad can happen. Wait, what does she mean by keep your guard up? At that moment, a large crash resounded through the room. I turned around startled to see a waitress had fallen down and spilled the order she was carrying right onto a customer. Oof. Wait, isn't that Shion? I'm so sorry. Your food's, what have you done? The jeans I bought at a certain specialty shop for a whole 1,800 yen are all sticky with frosting. Wait, he's panting? This was on purpose. What the hell is that? For somebody who just met with disaster, he seems awfully happy. How tragic. It seems little Miss Waitress here will have to wipe it up from the bottom of her heart. Oh, it was this creepy guy. Hold up. I think we saw him earlier. Where was that? Let's see. I wonder if the waitresses would wipe it for me if I spilled something on my pants right meow. It's that guy. He did this on purpose, except he's trying to get her to spill her dishes, I guess. Why did he even specify that he only paid 1,800 yen? That's like $18 for pants. Now I know it's in the 80s, but like if I paid $18 for pants, that'd be a complete joke right now. I think they're like 35. I think the last pair of pants I bought were like 35 bucks. And that was from like Walmart. Those were like jeans from Walmart. Alright, wipey it up from the bottom of her heart. Yeah, Shion. Oh, she's not gonna kick him in the face. The conversation suddenly veered off in an odd direction. What did he say? Wipey? He wants Shion to wipe him down? Right over that obviously aberrant tent he had pitched over his crotch? Shion's just like, are you fucking serious? That is, wipey. The wipey chant quickly spread throughout the room. Alright, these are some pretty creepy dudes. Totally cornered, Shion went pale. She looked over to more experienced waitress, who was only met with a head shaking out of pity. So Nozaki-san was tripped. Customers who do that to purposely get their clothes dirty have been on the rise lately. Yep, I was right. It was intentional. So you're saying she was tripped? What happened just now wasn't an accident. It was on purpose. The regular girls are careful about it, but they definitely wouldn't have it like that. But Sonosaki was only a seasonal hire. She had her guard down. The customers today could easily pick up on that, so she's been targeted since this morning. What's the manager doing? You should just kick them out. We're in the service industry. There's not much we can do about it. She laughed as she said in a resigned tone. They should really kick them out, though. Shion trembled uncontrollably with a dishcloth in her hands as she turned bright red. The man who'd been doused in frosting splayed out on the bench, putting the cream-colored tent over his crotch on full display. Still mentally unprepared, her trembling hand inched forward, goaded by the onlookers. Come, come, come. It's time for the wifey. From my male point of view, it might have been a ridiculous spectacle I could just smile wryly at, but from a woman's point of view, this is obviously pure humiliation and some obvious sexual harassment. All right, so this is where you have an opportunity to be a hero. Just grab a cloth and be like, "I got this, bro. I got this." Like, oh, what a mess. I'll help clean it up. I'm a nice guy, yeah. And so, kill the mood for the creepy guy, right? He'll suddenly be like, yeah, I can take care of it myself, thanks. You're hearing a bunch of creepy dudes harass Shion. When I was trapped by those thugs and had been paralyzed with fear, Shion fearlessly stood up to them and saved me. Still, as humiliating as it was, Shion was also partly to blame for this, and it wasn't as though her life was at stake, right? Even these guys were just gonna jeer at her in a bit of a lewd situation. It's not like they were gonna eat her alive or anything. It'd be alright if I just consoled her afterwards. Even I was scared, but Kei-chan was in trouble, so I had to be brave and do my best. When I, a man, was being assailed by 3 thugs while paralyzed with fear, Shion saved me without a second thought. Come on, Keiichi. What about now? The stakes aren't as high, but you can still help. These sleazy, filthy degenerates are trying to pin the blame on Shion. This time our roles were reversed. Hey, Keiichi, if you don't save her now, when will we be able to repay the debt you owe her? She, like, basically, well, she probably didn't save your life, but she saved you from a pretty serious beating. Come on, Keiichi. You scared, Keiichi Maibara? At that time, Shion, no Mion, didn't even show a hint of hesitation. What about now? I mean, she stood up to like 3 college-age thugs, and she's like 14. That's pretty ballsy. When they're like literally gonna beat you up, so I'm not hesitating. Then what? If you're not hesitating, why aren't you helping her? His internal monologue's yelling at him, cursing him for his hesitation. Come on. Now resign yourself to your fate. Wait, who says this? This is like classic evil person dialogue. This no life need. Shut up, you greasy fat ass. Get out of here before I get angry. I grasped Shion's shoulder firmly and pulled her behind me. Kei-chan? It seems you don't understand. Yonder waitress is the one who wet my pants. This is her punishment. The one who needs punishing is you. Why didn't you just do the thing that looks nice and not antagonistic? Enough with your empty words. If you're a man, talk with your fists. Wait, what? My body was lifted in the air like nothing. I was thrown back into my own seat. This guy is strong? Wait. Okay, I'm trying to follow the dialogue because they don't have like X says Y, so it's like resign yourself to your fate is the bad guy. We say this. Get out of here before I get angry. Shion says that. And then we threaten to beat him up and get our ass kicked? Okay. No matter how you look at it, Athletic and this Lardo aren't even in the same area code. Many otaku are unexpectedly well-versed in so obscure martial art. Don't be underestimating us. The man smirked, showing off his gum line. Kei-chan, are you okay? Damn it, how lame do I look right now? You were tripped, weren't you, Shion? They're in the wrong. Don't let them take advantage of you. That may be, but it was still my fault. Whoa, one more time. Let's do it. And this guy's beating the crowd. Chochiko thinking this is enough to make me give up. One more time. We're getting our ass beat. Yeah, he specifically had like, let's see if I can find this quote. A cream-covered tent on his crotch. A cream-covered tent is on his crotch, so it's like he's got a ton of whipped cream and junk on his junk. All right. Yeah, on his groin area, he's got a ton of like ice cream and shit. Getting our ass beat. Ho, you're all talk. I'm not done yet. We're getting our ass kicked, right? Rise, my will to fight. Not just running. I planted every one of my steps firmly as I closed the distance to the lard ball. Each time I ripped my foot off the floor, I could feel my burning spirit flare up from the point of impact. Everything slowed like I was walking underwater. As I stepped forward in that viscous flow of time, I calmly measured the gap between us.
Ho-ho!
Sudden how-hows.
Ho-ho!
With our difference in height, reach was my ultimate advantage.
Ho-ho!
There was an ever so tiny distance between us, where only my punch would be able to reach.
Ho-ho!
I unleashed my iron fist of righteous anger, but it flew towards his face slowly, like I was punching underwater.
Ho-ho!
Reacting to that, with a smirk on his face, the fatso easily slipped inside of my punch. I hadn't realized it till now, but in this mired time, I was able to observe his baffling counterattack with almost painful clarity. His arm slowly swung around in a large windmill motion, wrapped around my whiffed punch, and descended in an arc. It swung around like the arms of a clock, and came into contact with my head, twisting my upper body around. Wait, we're in slow-mo. Why are we, alright. Dragging my head along, he followed through with another rotation. This time he rotated his entire body like a top, followed by another rotation. So we're in slow-mo, but our opponent is in even slower slow-mo, able to act faster. Combining defense and offense, it was a brilliant counter. Wait, his arms are swinging in a windmill motion. Can I just read this again? Hold up. Bring my head along. Is he literally walking towards you, rotating his, like, spinning his arms in a circle, like, doing like a, like, moving his right arm behind him, over his head and down? Is that what he's doing? Is that what he's doing? Just like spinning his arm in a circle? Walking towards you? Like, your normal like exercise to loosen up your shoulders, where you like rotate your arms in a full circle over your head, behind you, in front of you, and down. I'm pretty sure that's what he's doing here, because it's saying he's making windmill motions with his arms to attack you. So, we're not getting our ass kicked because some guy's, like, outboxing us, or, like, joking us a bunch of... He's literally walking at us doing windmill motions and with his arms, and we're losing. Truly a brilliant attack. Alright. That's right, 3 times. I was thrown after 3 rotations, I think. In this viscous region of time, I was unable to struggle, and could only wait dumbstruck until the moment I was thrown. The moment I was, that sluggish temporal anomaly abruptly ended. Most people can't kick very well in combat, by the way. I think it would be smart to kick if you're ranged, but A, he's stepping forward aggressively, so you have to like guess that he's gonna walk into your kick. And B, most people's Most people, the height they can kick in combat's way lower than they can kick in training. So it's really hard to gauge how high you can actually kick, and how much damage you'll actually do with your legs. You lack training, young man. I was loath to admit it, but against someone trained in martial arts, I couldn't win through force of will alone. After my consciousness faded in a wave of dizziness, when I came to, I was lying down in my own seat. Wait, what? If in combat, either pull a gun or a gun or a condom? What? Where do you live where do you... I guess you live somewhere where you have concealed carry or open. Thankfully you weren't injured. The more experienced waitress from before wiped the sweat from my brow with a towel. At least we tried white knighting. While she was doing that, a red-faced and teary-eyed Shion trudged over. Are you okay? Doing that for my sake? I'm sorry. I'm sorry too, I wasn't much help. I've never won a fight before. No, just trying to help made me happy. I'm not joking. It's just, I was thinking it was lucky Kei-chan came here today. As she said that, she stuck her tongue out teasingly. She wiped off the whipped cream with the washcloth she was holding in her hands. Sonozaki, you can take your break now. You still have 1 or 2 hours left, don't you? That's fine, even though it's just part-time. It's still a paying job. I want to work properly while I'm on the clock. Really, you don't have to worry about me. She couldn't even put up a brave front. I'd never even think for a second Mion could be that weak. This was Shion, and she'd been harassed by some unreasonable riffraff. That was reality. For someone like him, you know what? For someone like him, getting out of a condo and being like, "All right, buddy, let's take this to the bathroom, buddy." Yeah, he might have backed off. Like, wait, you, me, a condo. Wait, what are we doing? Don't mind me. Eat as much dessert as you like. When you're done, we'll have you fill out a survey. Well, then I've got to get back to the floor. After some consoling words and a sympathetic smile to Shion, the other waitress started to head back to work. That's where I stopped her. Excuse me, could I borrow your phone? The phone? It's by the register. I'll show you where. I pulled a 10-yen coin from my wallet. This wasn't about saving face. My being a worthless coward was an unchangeable fact, but I could cry myself to sleep about that later. Now is not the time for tears. I had to fight. If I recall, 1 ticket's good for 4 people, right? Is it alright if I call over 3 more people? Yeah, that's fine. For the time being, I'll write them down on the guest list. Can I have their names? I turned around and glared at the greasy hooligan who subjected Shion to the humiliation. There are 3 things that aren't working in your favor today, punk. The first is I owe Shion. The second, I'm a man who's not afraid to throw away his pride to win. And the third, we're the most powerful club members in history. Alright. Please add Reina Ryugu, Satoko Hojo, and Riko Furude to the guest list. Understood, I'll do that. I'll have the best and most powerful club members join the fray. They can bring down 1,000 foes. Badasses, prepare to meet your maker. Alright, let's make some phone calls, baby. It's a nice restaurant. The uniforms are so cute. Reina wants to wear them too. On top of that, we're being treated to dessert. I'm deeply moved. Eat as much as you like. Don't worry about my share. Keiichi-san, enough with the charades. Let's get to the point. Reina and Rika put down their forks when Satoko broached the subject. After looking at them for a moment, I pressed my forehead firmly to the table. I beg of you. I don't care if you make fun of how pathetic I am. Please lend me your strength. The 3 of them seemed surprised by the sudden turn of events, but nonetheless, they listened to what I had to say without making fun of my unusual behavior. What's the matter? Something happened, didn't it? Actually, Mion's younger sister, Shion, is working part-time at this restaurant. Oh, that sister you were talking about, right? Could it be her? Could it? She resembles her. Resemble? That's just Mion with her hair down, isn't it? I didn't know what to say. If Keiichi said that's Shion, that's Shion. They might be twins, but can they really look that much alike? They're called monozygotic twins. Okay. They really can look identical. Reina gave the most plausible explanation, so everyone else was convinced. Alright. Well, do you believe me? I'll get to the point then. I recounted everything that had just happened. How Shion was targeted, she was antagonized by the customers, and the humiliation that was forced on her. And also how incredibly pathetic I was. I included everything without trying to hide it. That's awful. Poor Shi-chan. However, for you to be unable to help her, there should be a limit to how unsightly you can be. There's nothing I can say to that. Satoko-chan, to admit you lost and seek help's a very difficult thing to do. Keiichi-chan chose to help Shi-chan rather than save his pride. Pathetic. Reina's follow-up stung a bit, but I could only be thankful she understood. Satoko was calling me all sorts of names, but there was no malign intentions behind her words. Then what should we do? Her voice was monotone, but there was a hint of resolve in her words. I replied to Rika's suggestive silence in kind with my own quiet resolve. Well, I thought it would be something like that. It's a bit much for Keiichi-san to handle alone. You'll help? Of course, Keiichi-kun. We'll help anybody who's being bullied. I remember when I was cornered by those thugs, what Shion said about the strong feeling of solidarity in Hanami's awe. It really began to hit home. However, Keiichi, now it's not the time to get choked up with tears of gratitude. Now's the time to fight. Sorry, I owe you one. Oh, you tried your best, but didn't stand a chance alone. How sad, how sad. Rika's like, we're like, it's like our character's like 14 or some shit. Rika's like 10, and she's like, wow, it's so sad that you needed help to deal with this. You're like, please shut up, Rika. Oh, Rika gently patted my head for me, but it's pretty hard to ask for help, right? There was no mindless pity in the palm of that hand. It was overflowing with the strong, dependable feeling of, leave the rest to us. Shion can't join us due to various circumstances, so I'll temporarily be taking command. Our strategy will revolve around Shion's defense and the extermination of the enemy's combat capability. Who's the enemy? Are there a lot of them? From this point forward, anyone who messes with Shion's the enemy combatant. As an enemy combatant, there's no rules of engagement. There never are. Compensation will be the dessert you just ate. Any questions? Everybody already entered club mode, their eyes peering at the riffraff clamoring around inside the restaurant, like predators stalking their prey from the darkness. Rika-chan held up her hand. What is it, Rika-chan? Do we have to show mercy? Is mercy mandatory? Of course we don't have to. We have no need for mercy. Who would dare lay a hand on Mion's sister? It's okay, Keiichi? Rika was serious. She was really ready to pretty much murder someone. I'm counting on you, Rika. I, Keiichi Maibara, shall assume responsibility. Rout them. Alrighty. Reina's gonna do her best too. Sorry. Please do. Keiichi-san, you don't have to be so tense. Well, just wait and see. By the time you finish that parfait, we'll have finished cleaning up too. Well then, everyone, let's give it our all. Go for it. Yay! Yay! Alright, what are they gonna do? Thus, the most powerful warband the world had ever known, trained by Mion, began to move. I was the eldest, the only boy, and behaved like a leader, but when you consider our activities, I was by far the most junior member. Individually, everyone besides me had terrifying combat capabilities. If all of them combined their strength to protect Shion, I couldn't even imagine. I was probably about to witness something terrible and awe-inspiring. Sonozaki-san, 5 deluxe parfaits for table 7. Sure thing. Shion carried the order to the tables. For Shion to carry all 5 parfaits without wobbling took so much effort she didn't have the breathing room to pay attention to her feet. Comrades, here she comes yet again. This time we'll have her spill everything on my pants and have her wipey right down to my underwear. What a line for someone to say in real life. Just imagine saying that in real life. How cringe. Like, wouldn't that be like 11 out of 10 cringe? It was the same wipey scheme that occurred just a short time earlier. This time another was trying it out for himself. The very depravity of these men was itself a full-out attack. Reina, this is Keiichi. Ambush them around tables 5 and 6. Reina, do you copy? Wait, we don't have radios! Restaurant's uniform's so cute, I want to take them home. Shion, her bottom swaying while carrying the parfaits, was being chased by an equally swaying Reina. She was supposed to be escorting Shion, but Reina was instead transfixed by the back of her uniform. From a normal person's POV, it was probably like having a fox guard a hen house, but when it comes to Reina, things are different. Cute mode, 120% synchronization. We've won. We've won. When Reina's in that state, even the laws of physics don't apply. Shion's legs, unsteady and defenseless, were being targeted by those sleazebags. Now, my comrades. Hellmine Fiora, shining Lucifer of the Harumi Mecha. What? What? A leg snaked out to trip Shion's defenseless feet. Egads! 3 of them at once! If anyone ever hears you say fucking wipey, I'm first to kill me. It's so cringe, right? It's so cringe. It happened in an instant. The 3 fools writhed in pain, their legs bent at unnatural angles. What is this madness? Reina teetered into view and gave them a warning. No mischief, okay? No means no. Reina's gonna be the one to take her home. This girl, that strange technique. The human scum clutched their bruised ankles as they passed out. Imagine she just kicks you. She kicks you in the ankle, like kicks your ankle so hard you pass out. That's our Reina. No matter how many times I see it, it's always frighteningly quick. A sudden demise, indeed. An unbreakable barrier. Anyone within a 2-meter radius who attacks Shion's completely obliterated by Reina. As Shion was making her rounds through the restaurant, there were people here and there collapsing with welts on their legs or hands. Keiichi, this is Reina. There's nobody left that'll bother Shichen. I'm gonna take her home now. Reina, this is Keiichi. Good work. Please continue the mission. Permission to take home denied. I repeat, permission denied. I'll just look. I guess looking's fine. That wouldn't prevent her from guarding Shion, so I guess it's okay. Anyway, thanks to this, I knew who tried to mess with Shion. Anyone clutching their arm or leg while they were writhing in agony was basically branded by their bruises. That leaves us up for next. Rika and Satoko, you have your targets. We finished identifying all enemy forces. Proceeding to the next phase. Satoko, this is Keiichi. We don't have radios. What's your status? What's your status? She's right in front of you. Satoko, that's a rude way to ask. Keiichi, who exactly do you think I am? Satoko was in the kitchen. Oh, how are they gonna... Is she gonna mess with the food? She had spread open a sketch of the restaurant on the counter, replete with order chits and their destinations, and was now sorting through the freshly made desserts. Who the hell let her behind the counter? Oh, whatever. Hey, what are you doing? Hey now. Sonozaki, it's alright, just leave it to her. More importantly, we're taking these orders out at once. I'm counting on you. The veteran waitress was briskly directing her juniors as the trays went out one after another. All the desserts that passed through Satoko's hands were delivered at once. Lots of cute desserts are coming. I think you know this, but don't touch them. At least if you still value your life. I know, but certainly they were all incredibly cute-looking desserts. They were works of art you could enjoy even before taking your first bite. However, since Satoko meddled with them, they were nothing more than an unpredictable danger. Blissfully ignorant of that fact, the men were now stuffing their faces. This is... Almost right away they realized something was wrong. Satoko, what did you mix in there? It couldn't have been salt or Tabasco, right? My, what are you saying, Keiichi-san? You said no mercy. I might not look like it, but when I get down to business, I like to be very thorough. Salt and Tabasco? That's not enough. What did she put in there? What did she put in there? And she said that she twirled a dubious vial in her fingers before putting away smartly into her brush. Caspicin is transparent, correct? Pure caspicin extract is transparent, right? Right? Hold up, I need to look this up. Is caspicin extract transparent? Or capsaicin or whatever it is? capsaicin. Is it transparent? Looks like it's a darker liquid. Possibly if it added coloring, though. I don't know what color it's supposed to be. Pure capsaicin is a hydrophobic, colorless, highly pungent, crystalline to waxy solid compound. That's right, it's colorless. So you could mix it with, well, it's hydrophobic, so you can't mix it with water, I guess, but theoretically, it could be colorless. That's the important thing. A dubious file, yes. Rika, this is Satoko. The customers are moving. Escort duty is all yours. Leave it to me. Come to think of it, I didn't see Rika anywhere. Where could she be lurking? Clatter, clatter, clatter. Several men stood up suddenly from their seats, surveying the restaurant for something. The restless fidgeting. The look of relief when they found the single placard hanging from the ceiling. Written on that placard was the word restroom. They began a mad rush in that direction. It wasn't just one or two people. All the people that were branded the enemy stood up from their seats while clutching their stomachs. I think I was a bit too greedy. Where's the washroom? Me too. Not a number one. Not number one. A number two. I need to cash out Meow. Where's the toilet? I found it. You're in for it now. I felt dirty just thinking of what Satoko probably did to their desserts. Laxatives? You'd need some really strong laxatives for that, but okay. The problem was how to follow this up. I was intrigued, so I followed the rush of men to the washroom. The narrow hallway connecting to the restroom was crammed with about 10 men. What's this? As I peered over to see what was happening, it seemed the toilet was clogged and backflowing, unleashing a loud gurgling sound and a terrible stench. There was no way to use it in this state. Damn, that's Satoko. What a frightening display of power. No, this isn't Satoko's doing. It's divine punishment. They're just unlucky. I'll apologetically ask one of the employees here to clean up. I can't do my business like this. Oh, what do we do, Meow comrades? It was a brilliant combination of traps, but it would be better if there was one more push to the kicker. Seeing as it was Satoko, she wouldn't have overlooked that. It's come to this. It's time for the last resort. Faced with a moral dilemma, the man only had one other option. The women's restroom. Isn't using the girls' room going to get us in trouble? I'm pretty sure there's no female customers today. Why didn't I think of that before? Women's toilets are the best. What a brazen bunch they are. What? I mean, you know what? If you're desperate for the toilet, alright. That's a fine line to say. It's not super cringy. The men, sweat pouring from their brows, made a mad rush to the girls' room without hesitation. Is Rika waiting there? Me? There was a girl there. It was Rika-chan. The men stood there frozen in various complicated poses, indicating their surprise. Rika's just stand there. Her goal is wait in the washroom looking cute. Rika-chan also seemed dumbfounded by the sudden turn of events. But the look on her face was strangely perfect. It was all part of the plan as well. You sly dog, Rika. I could never underestimate you. You see, I was well. Me? The men's room is dangerous at the moment. We're gonna board the toilet here. Right, meow. Meow. But I guess it's not right after all. Right, my comrades. Just by having a girl stand there in the restroom, I never knew it could put up such an overwhelming barrier. There was no way anybody could be brave enough to lift Rika-chan out of the way to try and do their business. That was the most they could do, after all. If we're a man in full club mode, they'd plow through Rika without a second thought. Now, what are you going to do, fat asses? The price for tormenting Shion still hasn't been paid. If you're in trouble, I can help you. That would be much appreciated. How would you do that? You can use one of the toilets outside. I'll show you to them. Perfect. Please. At this rate, it'll end up becoming group anima What? Rika, with a pleasant smile on her face, guided them with a casual stride in her step. In this race against time, her slow pace was sadistic torture. And I will drink my water. As well, is the toilet far from here? We'll get there soon. Obeying Reika's directions, they were about to leave the restaurant. Keiichi, finish it. Give him hell. Yeah, leave it to me. I spread my arms out and blocked them as they tried to leave the restaurant. What's the meaning of this? We're at DEFCON 1 here! Listen up, you Tubbs alarm. You know what happens if you set one foot out this door, right? What's the meaning of this preposterous statement? Oh look, it's written right here on the ticket. Not valid for re-entry. See? You're free to use any toilet you want, but the moment you step outside that door, you can't come back. Oh, you remember this? I don't want to guide anyone who says scary things like that. Everybody panicked as Rika began to turn back. They could only figuratively and literally fall in line. All the waitresses lined up to see them off. Thank you very much for coming. We'll be back! The bell rang playfully. Oh, it's clang clang, as the door shut behind them. How pathetic. Too easy. We did it, yay! Red and Satoko clapped their hands together. I couldn't hold a candle to those guys by myself, but we get the group together, we send them packing like a herd of cattle. They got fucking wrecked with opponents this week. Any of us gonna take them on by ourselves. Keiichi, you need to up your game. I was loath to admit it, but Satoko was right. To be fair, we did like the worst thing. Instead of like trying to play Trixie, we were like, I'll just go punch them, yeah. I'm like a 14-year-old guy, 15-year-old boy fighting like 10 grown men, alright. Damn it. One day I'll be strong enough to be worthy to stand alongside them. I'm glad we were able to protect Mii-chan's little sister. Now there's none of those bad people pulling pranks left. We're blessed to have such wonderful friends, Sonozaki-san. The veteran waitress was also smiling. After the herd was sent packing, it had calmed down completely inside the restaurant. Shion was flustered as she glanced between us and the now empty seats. You did that for me? I mean... Shion's expression was somewhere between happy and guilt-ridden. Her face was slightly red as she ran into the kitchen. Oh, Shi-chan's cute. They really are twins, huh? Given Shion's personality, there's no way she'd thank us directly. We might have been a bit excessive in our means, but I'm really glad we were able to save her. I think you know this already, but Sonozaki-san is very grateful. As a representative of the floor staff here, I also extend my gratitude. We got some clapping. The applause quickly spread throughout the entire restaurant. Not only the other waitresses, but the customers that were genuinely there to enjoy the desserts. Everyone was lauding our efforts, literally an everyone clapped moment. Alright. Alright. It might have been slightly exaggerated, but that's still fucking cool. When we had mostly finished eating and were filling out the survey, Rika-chan made her return. Oh, good work. Did everything go alright? You took a while. I'm sorry, I got lost on the way back. It was a lot of trouble. Rika likes to stray down some pretty strange roads, so she gets lost pretty often. How does she get lost guiding people to a nearby toilet? Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. How does she get lost going to a toilet outside? Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. That reminds me of 8-Bit Theater, where Black Belt somehow gets lost walking down a straight hallway. Literally walking down the throne room from the door to the throne, got lost. Ended up in the fifth circle of hell, as I recall. Like he said, he's not a clever man. Rika has a lot of strong points that more than make up for that. I can see that. That expression in the girls' room. You're quite the thespian. And she was being horrible. He was thinking, if I were in their shoes, I'd just run her over and push into the washroom. What? Did what I was thinking show up on my face again? Keiichi-kun was a pervert. No, I mean, I could laugh about it then, but a few days later, a newspaper headline read, 10 unidentified men taken into custody in Hiteyama. The men claim they traveled from Shishibone City by foot to find a toilet, but the spot they were taken into custody was several kilometers from Shishibone. What? She led them like 5 kilometers away. When I read the article, I realized how terrifying Rika really was. She led them out of town. Thanks for treating me. I'm happy you called me here today. Oh, are you going home already? You can stay a little longer. I was in the middle of organizing some drawers. If I leave it like that, I won't be able to put out the futon. I guess that's true. It looks like I called her at a bad time. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, the futon? Wait, why is there a futon being put up? Yeah. When Reina phoned her, she was in the middle of cleaning her room. Oh, they called me on? But she still came. Oh, when Reina phoned Rika, she was cleaning her room, but she still came. Okay. Well, it was an emergency, so it couldn't be helped. Besides, I got to eat a lot of sweets, so I'm very happy. Thanks for today. Sorry for calling you out so suddenly. Tell Shion I said bye. Tell Shion I said bye. I'll be taking my leave then. Reina, please take your time. I will. Later. Rika and Satoko, in a good mood, horsed around with each other as they left. Rika is truly a terrifying person. Truly the ultimate siren, lured people several kilometers, or at least pointed them in the direction of a toilet that was several kilometers away and was like, yeah, fuck off. Like, imagine being, like, you're in like a suburb, right? You're in a suburb or something where there's like no fucking restaurants and only houses, and someone's just like, just go down this street a couple blocks and there'll be like a public toilet on the left, and then they're just walking for like 5 kilometers. While Reina and I were having a discussion about the dessert we just ate, Shion arrived with some coffee. Oh, did the 2 little ones leave already? Hearing them called little ones was so strange, I inadvertently burst out laughing. Apparently they were in the middle of cleaning, so they just went home. Shion had brought enough coffee for 4 people. I heard from my senior. It seems you went through a lot of trouble for my sake. It was no trouble at all. Not other than Shi-chan was in a pinch after all. Oh, is it alright if you call you Shi-chan? Imagine with me, Chan. I thought it might be cute. Well, whatever you want. Shion seemed a bit hesitant when Reina started talking to her. Reina's pretty sharp about something, so Shion was probably worried Reina would find out she was Mion after talking like this. Shion said she'd have work soon and hurried off back to the kitchen, leaving behind coffee for just the 2 of us. She was a bit upset with Reina. Maybe she thought I was being too friendly, huh? She's just embarrassed, I'm sure. Still, they really look the same. Instead of twins, it's like there's another Me-chan. They look the same, but the atmosphere around them, or rather their insides, are completely different. I think those types of twins are pretty interesting, though. You think that, K-chan? I think they're identical on the inside, too. It somehow became silent. Reina was just staring at the pattern the milk made on the surface of her coffee without saying a word. Yeah, remember, these guys were presumably, I guess, given some extra strong laxatives, and then had to walk several kilometers to a toilet, hopefully. I assume they got arrested for, like, public indecency, because at some point they just gave up on a country road and were like, time to pull down my pants and get to business, because it's... I can't help myself. I don't feel sorry for them, though. They're pretty creepy. Don't feel too sorry for them. For someone like me who can never stop talking, it was a rather uncomfortable moment. Reina's off-put mannerism seemed to imply I said something I shouldn't have. The unpleasantness carried on for a little while. Reina, you said it today, right? Mion was hurting? Did I say something like that? Don't play dumb with me. You definitely said it, on the way home from school. Reina answered by laughing while continuing to play dumb, questioning if she said that. As thick-headed as I was, I had a faint realization. Reina wanted to say I was the one who hurt Mion. But when? Me? Hypothetically, if something like that happened, it's not something I did out of malice. I continued the conversation, but left out the assumption I hurt Mion. Yeah, I think that's true. I don't think Keiichi-kun... had any bad intentions. Reina replied, also leaving out the assumption that I had hurt Mion. But that confirmed it. I don't know how it happened, but it seemed I had hurt Mion, and Reina was upset with me due to the fact I hadn't realized it. I don't want you to misunderstand. It's not like Reina's mad at you. Seeing right through what I was thinking, Reina said that as she smiled even more gently than usual. It's just, how do I say this? It's hard. If I made a mistake, please say so clearly. I'm thick-headed. I'm so thick-headed I disgust myself. If there's something I need to apologize for, I want to know even a little quicker so I can make up for it. I don't think Keiichi-kun made a mistake. Depending on how you look at it, Mii-chan might be the one being unfair. Taking the stance that the girl was being unfair might be unfair in itself. What Reina said was draped in mystery. I had no idea what she meant. The only thing I got out of it was that I had said or done something to inadvertently hurt Mion. I think you've said a couple things that hurt Mion. If you make the assumption that Mion and Shion are different people, he's acted like they're the same person. He's acted like they're the same person and said a couple things that would kind of hurt Mion's feelings, I think. If Mion and Shion are separate people, so I think that's what the issue is. I'm begging you, Reina. Mion's one of my best friends. I don't want to leave something between us that could cause problems later on. Tell me, how did I hurt her? I can't tell you. You need to realize something like this for yourself. Reina was smiling like she always did, but spoke bluntly. The fact she had this strength of will surprised me for a moment. I'm asking you because I don't know what it is, you know? My tone unintentionally became harsh. Reina was also surprised for a moment, but quickly returned to her flat demeanor. Well then, I guess a hint is fine. This is special, okay? Sorry. Please? I'll think about this seriously. Reina looked around the restaurant, searching for Shion. Shion was working enthusiastically, but without confidence, as usual. Shi-chan. If she ties her hair up, it's impossible to tell apart from Mii-chan, right? Yeah, it's true. So then, if Mii-chan let down her hair, it'd be impossible to tell apart from Shi-chan? Probably. Visually, maybe. What does that have to do with anything? What if? What if her being the younger twin was a lie? That she was just Mii-chan pretending to be her sister? What would you think? Reina was sharper than her daily behavior belied. I was hesitant in verbally affirming that, but it was the right answer. It would be unfair to answer a question with another question. But like you say, if like you say Mion's pretending to be Shion, what purpose would that serve? After maintaining the silence for a while, Reina glanced at the clock. That's what I want you to think about. It was maybe too much of a hint. After thanking me for the dessert, Reina stood up from her seat. Sorry, I was asked to buy a few things. It's about time I left. Is it okay with you I tell Shion I'm sorry I didn't say goodbye? Or if you tell Shion. Yeah, I'll tell her. Sorry. Huh? Reina's so sharp-tempered. Sorry for getting angry. Keiichi-kun isn't the only one at fault here. Reina was harsh in her apology, but I was the one who really should have apologized. I think for Mii-chan, it's something that doesn't bother her much anymore, so if you want to forget the whole thing happened, it's fine too. You see, as a girl, I hope Kei-chan realizes it by himself and comes to apologize of his own volition. Huh. Switching to cute mode only at the end, she disappeared in the direction of the register. No axes. Only a delicious desserts. And pranking creepy people. While I was staring into space, somebody suddenly tapped me on the shoulder. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm finally done. It was Shion who changed into her street clothes. She flashed a smile while greeting me. Thanks so much for everything was delicious. We were all really happy with it. Oh, don't mention it, but I'm glad everybody had fun. That girl that was just here left as well? She had some shopping to do. She said she was sorry for leaving without saying anything. I see. Well then, should we leave as well? Even though I'm off duty, I'm still nervous around the workplace. We ended up strolling around without any destination in particular. I'd been sitting the entire time, so I was in need of a breath of fresh air. When we left, the sky had already become draped in a veil of darkness. It's gotten dark already. Even though I promised I'd be finished early, Shion seemed upset there wasn't much time left. Ah, well. At least we've got a little time to chat like this. Saying that, Shion... Oh, it's Shion that said that. Shion set out for the tree-lined boulevard behind the station. The front of the station was slowly becoming crowded with businessmen heading home. Well then, I guess I should start with an introduction. I was mistaken for my sister when we first met, so we never got to properly introduce ourselves. I could only smile and laugh wryly. My name's Shion Sonozaki. I'm only similar to my older sister in appearance. My sister's rough around the edges and hot-headed, but I'm a composed and methodical person. I remembered what Reina and I had been talking about earlier. I said they looked the same, but their personalities were different. Well, Reina said they were both the same. I don't know what tipped her off, but Reina figured out that Shion was Mion. And related to that, she said, I hurt Mion. Reina had only given one hint. Why is Mion pretending to be Shion? Shion, what did you hear about me from Mion? My sister seems to have taken a liking to you. She talks about you quite a bit. Like, about club activities, getting pranked, pranking you back, boyish kinds of stories. You really do get along. Boyish kinds of stories, huh?
Hello there.
Come to think of it, I think there was something Shion told me before. Kitchen, you don't think of my sister as a girl, do you? Was that what happened that hurt me on? Dude, that's so obvious. Like I said, there's at least one thing you said.
Hello there.
I think there was one thing that he said.
Ho-ho.
There was one thing that was said.
Ho-ho.
Like, that was the only thing he said that was, like, directly insulting if you assume that they were separate people. Was that what happened that hurt me? Me and herself said she'd wished she'd been born a boy and that being a girl didn't suit her. She said a lot of things to that effect, didn't she? Kei-chan, you look like you're having fun. No, that's not true. Even though you're bad at hiding things, you sure like to lie, don't you? Still, I don't hate you for it. Saying that, she lightly chopped my forehead. Even though Shion was enjoying herself, I was still trying to figure out how I hurt Mion. I was having a hard time figuring out the riddle Reina left me with. See that? Don't you think it's pretty? You think even a guy would find it pretty? Yeah, it is pretty. Shion was having fun window shopping, dragging me by all sorts of stores I would normally never enter. It wasn't like she was begging me to buy her anything, and I wasn't getting bored either. It was just something to talk about as we walked around. In an easygoing way, we browsed through numerous stores. We discussed all sorts of topics I knew nothing about, but I didn't lose interest. I had the feeling she was good at conversation. Kei-chan, this is your first time doing this Is this your first time doing this kind of thing? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Kei-chan's first time on a date. Yeah, it is. If somebody didn't bring me into these accessory shops, I don't think I'd set foot in one in my entire life. Not that. I mean, more like this. What? I left back when Shion suddenly linked her arm with mine. Did you not realize you were on a date, Keiichi? You don't have to act so surprised. It's not so embarrassing to link arms with a girl, is it? Shion's expression was a bit miffed, but suggestive at the same time. Truly, can't take a hint. I'm not that embarrassed. If you want some arms, I can spare one or two. Here. Kei-chan, you really know how to entertain someone. I see why my sister took a liking to you. If you don't want my arm, I'm taking it back. Come on, I'm happy to have it. Laughing in good spirits, Shion locked her arm with mine and my heart skipped a beat. This question might be a bit mean, but I want to enjoy seeing your reaction, Kei-chan. Have you ever been arm in arm with a girl before? Around a bonfire at a field trip doesn't count, by the way. That little devil. She's asking that question knowing full well what the answer would be. Well, if field trips are out, this is rough. I thought as much. That impish laugh, it really is the same as Mion's. You really are Shion, right? You're not just Mion saying you're Shion, are you? Are you thinking my sister might pretend to be me? I thought you were twins until just now, but the way you mess around is just like Mion. Maybe you're just saying that. You can tell us apart easily. What do you mean by that? If my sister was holding her arm like this, would you get nervous? I would. I'd be completely on edge worrying about when she'd go for an arm lock. Shion laughed so hard she had to hold on to her sides. Is it really that funny? You're tearing up. You're tearing up. No, it's just... I was thinking about how hopeless my sister is. She isn't even able to get a young man hot and bothered while she's arm in arm with him. She really is a failure as a... Oof. A failure as a woman. I remembered once again I'd heard someone say that before. Sometimes I think my sister would have been better off if she was born a boy. If she did, I might have fallen for her. Just kidding. Mion did say something about wanting to be born a boy. My sister's on the fence as to whether or not she wants to be a boy or a girl. Well, it's the price she pays for living an awkward lifestyle. Just leave her be. You've been saying some harsh things about your sister right now. Mion has some soft parts to her I don't like. The way Shion talked somehow sounded cold. Shion, do you not get along with Mion? Well, we get along well enough. Still, there's a few things for which I can't forgive her as her sister. Hey, look at that. Don't you think it's cute? I turned around to look where Shion was pointing. What was there was the familiar display window of a toy shop. The same shop that was the stage for the incident that occurred during last Sunday's club activities. What Shion was pointing at was a display with a plethora of adorable dolls that looked like the sort of things girls would like. I wonder why girls like these kind of things. It's because they're cute. Don't you think they're cute, Kei-chan? I'm a man, so I don't really get that vibe. Hey now, which do you think's the cutest out of all these, Kei-chan? Shion, pulling on my arm, motioned to the row of dolls. Alright, we got 5 dolls. They were lined up like they were close sisters taking a commemorative photo. A few of them seemed strangely familiar. Seen those 4 over there somewhere. Oh, I guess they really are famous. If even you know about them. Shion sounded impressed. These are new dolls that were just brought in from England. They still have some available here, but around the cities they have trouble keeping them on the shelves, even though they're supposed to be inexpensive. It seems they're starting to come at a premium. Guess girls still like these kind of things even as they grow up. It depends on the person, but I think that girls who don't like dolls and stuffed animals are pretty few and far between. Even my tomboy sister said these were adorable. Oh? Even Mion says they're adorable? That is pretty amazing. That's right, I just remembered. What did we remember? Ah, the store owner gave us one to us after Sunday's event. I see. I just realized that's like a tide of gachapon machines out front. When did gachapon become popular in Japan? That might give us a hint. Hold up. If these are like modern pictures, or actually set in the 80s. They originated in the 60s. Yep, that's fine. No clue. I was hoping it would have been like, they originated in the early 2000s. And you'd be like, alright. Except for Mion, who is a relative, everyone had gotten something. I really do think that one's the best. That frilly dress really gives it something. That's it. That's the one the shop owner gave to me. So it seems, Shion replied softly but clearly. Uncle Yoshiro gave those out as thanks for helping liven things up at Sunday's event. It seems he gave them to the 4 friends my sister brought along. So you got the doll with the dress then? What did you think? It was really cute, right? As a man, there's no way I'd think it was cute. So what'd you do with the doll? I wasn't really going to do anything with it, so I gave it to someone. To who? As Shion laughed, I could hear an audible click run through my head, like the piece of a jigsaw puzzle snapping into place. You gave it to Reina, and Mion got nothing. Thank you very much for today, everyone. You made the event turn out great. Flashback time. It's not much, but here's something extra for today. Uncle Shiro, isn't there a little something for me too? My, quite an adorable one, is it not? When Satoko and Rika opened up the bag, there were cute little stuffed animals inside. Wow, they're so cute. Can I take them home? I really can. Which means there's something for me too. Whoa, I got a pretty adorable one. It was a stuffed toy wearing a beautiful dress, one you'd use to play house. Reina's eyes were glued to my stuffed doll, and Satoko was the same. And Rika? No mention of Mion, because Mion didn't get anything. I see. It wasn't just Reina, Satoko, and Rika. There was one other person who seemed jealous. Kei-chan got the one who fits him the least. Not wanting for expression to give it away, she said that to hide her embarrassment. Well, I guess it's cute and pretty. I can admit it's adorable, but a doll with changeable clothes is... If you walked around with it, you'd be treated like a weirdo starting tomorrow, definitely. Mion's usual teasing way of talking. I looked around to see who I should give the doll to. Mion was right in front of me, the only one who hadn't received a present, so I thought about giving it to her, but I didn't. You giving it to me? To Reina? Thank you. Turning away from Mion's covetous gaze, I gave the doll to Reina. Mion's smile bore into my back. There was no way I couldn't have noticed. Why didn't I give it to Mion? Since Mion's the only one who didn't get anything, wouldn't it have been standard practice to give it to her? Yeah, why the fuck not? At that time, I noticed something was wrong. That's why I said it. Just protecting myself. If I didn't give it to Reina, walking the streets at night would be scary. No doubt, no doubt. I thought about giving it to Mion, but it just didn't feel right. There's where you screwed up. Something dark flickered briefly in Mion's eyes, but at the time I didn't notice it. So is this where we go to the store and buy one of the dolls to get and give it to Mion? That would be the smart play, right? Yo, how's it going? Oh, Dio. Something dark flickered briefly in Mion's eyes. Alright, you thought to give it to Mion, why didn't you? You know it. I sometimes wonder why I wasn't born a boy, and that's where we got that line. Yeah. Mion herself said that with a laugh, so I didn't realize I'd hurt her. That's right. Mion's more suited for cool things. So I think having you help out here was the right choice. Shion asked, probably thinking she misheard me. That uniform, it never suits someone like Mion. But if it's Shion, I think it works. You mean that? Shion, like Reina often does, spaced out and turned bright red. Mion seemed really happy. She seemed happy I complimented Shion. Saying it didn't suit Mion, but that it suited Shion. Saying it suited her seemed to make her happy. Mion's younger twin sister. She's got a different personality, but she's a dead bringer for Mion. That's right. We look similar, but our personalities are completely different. I'm very kind and thoughtful, but Shion is a cold and scary personality. I think when you were born, Shion got all the feminine aspects. Unlike Mion, she's a cute, cheerful girl. Okay, if you say this knowing that Shion's a different person, that's like actually super insulting, right? Like, unlike Mion, unlike you, your sister is a cute and cheerful girl. Like, ooh, that's pretty brutal, right? Mion made a strange face that's both angry and happy at the same time. It seems she's happy I said Shion was cute. Sneaking a look inside the box to say she just put some leftovers inside would have been a lie. There was an elegant meal stuffed inside. Is it really okay? It's not like there's a ton of hot sauce mixed in or anything, right? Jeez, I'm not my sister. I wouldn't do that kind of thing. If you don't like it, you don't have to force yourself. I'll just go home and eat it myself. I'm not my sister. That was how she said it. Shion was insistent she wasn't Mion. She was saying she was Shion and I shouldn't think of her as Mion. When Mion was Shion, it carried a special meaning. Michan's mysterious, right? She's a girl, but it's like she's a guy. That's what Reina said. But you see, you and that Michan is actually really feminine. Reina, how much did Mion pay you exactly? That's not true. I'm trying to have a serious conversation, you know? You know? Reina began to pout. Now probably wasn't the right time to joke around. Michan's club president. She's trying hard to lead everybody, but she's really a very cute girl. I don't want you to forget that, Keiichi-kun. There was never a riddle to begin with. You were just blind and didn't realize they were separate people. Which, to be fair, everything your character was reading was that they were different. They were the same person pretending, living that double life. So, like, if he'd realized that, he probably wouldn't have said a bunch of the stuff he did. Brandon was saying the right answer from the beginning. We screwed up, made the wrong assumptions, and hurt our friend. So I don't know what's going on anymore. Yeah, I know Keiichi didn't mean anything wrong. At least he didn't intend to. Yeah, Keiichi isn't the type of person to hurt others. There's no reason for you to feel hurt by this, Michan. Then what was it? Frustration? Sadness? I don't know at all. Did she want it? That's all I knew? Even if you gave it to me, Reina, that wouldn't solve anything. Right. How about this, Michan? Try asking Keiichi-kun. You might be able to solve the problem if you tackle it head on. There's no way I could do that. This is his imagined conversation between Reina and Mion, right? Is it too embarrassing to do that now? I want to try again, as somebody other than Mion. This time I can be more honest with myself. Don't get me wrong, I'm pretty fond of the relationship I have with Kei-chan. This might be selfish, but one more time. Keiichi will definitely notice. I wonder if that's true. Brandon will cheer you on too, so let's find a way for you to ease your sadness. Believe me. I won't let anything happen that'll make you cry, Michan. I'll believe. Ooh, that copium. That copium. I'm thinking somebody's not getting an extra NP level of how. Sorry. And a 3D avatar into Unity. Interesting. I haven't actually done any work with 3D models in Unity. I've only done 2D stuff in Unity. I definitely haven't tried to import any 3D models. Might be like some weird formatting shit you have to play games with. All I know is that it's a lot of work to modify 3D models correctly. As that's the only 3D modeling I've done lately. It's like, I've had to like modify some 3D models for printing. It's a real pain closing meshes off. Correctly it is. At least with Blender. The amount of polygons on some models is ridiculous. And the autofill does not work the way you want it to. A standard file type. Everyone's favorite finicky bullshit. Oh boy. Yeah, I haven't done enough 3D. Unity better accept it. You're going for someone's ankles. Oh boy. Oh boy. So that's probably like the main reason you got the model in the first place. Yeah, that's gonna be an oof if that doesn't work. Yeah, there's probably some like trick to it. That's usually what it is. If like something's not working. It's a huge pain, you gotta spend like 2-3 hours, but there's usually a trick to it. I'd probably start by like verifying that the model itself can be imported into a 3D modeling program. Like Blender or Maya? Is it Maya? I think if you get a trial of Maya, you could probably test it. Blender, Maya, or some other 3D modeling program, just test that it's like working fine. That solves the like issue of like, does the file work? Then you like figure out what's wrong with the actual import process. There might be some gimmicky shit. If you don't get Yang Guifei, you're burning Medusa Lily. This, my friends, is what we call a monster. Burning his servants because he didn't get the right results. But let's fix Mion's problems first. Keiichi-kun will definitely come to understand. He'll say he's sorry for saying something so callous. He'll bring you to that store and buy that doll for you as a present. Yeah. And then Michan, you'll say, thank you. You can't fool around. Say it honestly. Yeah. Well, we know that one truth. I said I wanted it, Kei-chan. Did you buy it for me? Shion said it quietly, doing her best to quell her embarrassment. I would have reflexively begun to lightly tease her to hide my embarrassment. But like Mion, I quelled that impulse. Okay, Mion. As thanks for everything until today, I'll buy whichever one you want. My voice cracked with unfamiliar words. In order to not lose to Mion trying her best, I tried my best as well. But I'm not Mion, I'm Shion. Shion then. I'll buy it for you, Shion. She looked down. Red-faced, she pointed at the doll in the dress through the store window. Is it really okay? The one in the dress is a little expensive, isn't it? It's not a matter of price. This is a matter of feelings. When I was saved by K-chan for those unsavory customers today, I was really happy. Even though my coworkers didn't save me, K-chan did. Grabbed me by the shoulder really firmly, right? Right then, you were really cool. I was so embarrassed I couldn't properly express my gratitude. I clamped my hand down on Shion's head and ruffled her hair roughly, like how I would to Reina and the others. When I did that, Shion, like Reina, would have spaced out and blushed slightly. You don't have to think too hard about it. I should have given it to you back then. If I did that, then everybody would have had a good laugh. Shion didn't respond. She turned bright red like she was trying to hold back laughter and tears. I'll go buy it for you right now. Wait here. I'll go with you. Saying that, she grabbed my arm once again. She wasn't trying to be stoic anymore. I think I know why my sister likes you. Is it alright? I start to like you a bit too, K-chan? The unfamiliar situation made my head start to spin. The hair. This guy's truly becoming the harem protagonist. Hopefully he doesn't get murdered, but man, he's got twins, both of them. Both of them crushing on him super hard, and Reina's kind of crushing on him too. Or at least she was last game. What am I doing? I had reached my limit. Smiling wryly to hide my embarrassment, I dragged Shion into the store with me. Excuse me? I want to buy that doll in the dress that's in the window. After a moment, I heard a voice of acknowledgement, and an apron-clad employee soon appeared. K-chan? Why are you here? This has nothing to do with you. I'm on a date with K-chan right now. Poor K-chan. His head is exploding. Exploding. What? Why is K-chan? Even if you ask why, I'd like to know the answer myself. Mion looked at me with an expression of confusion and surprise. That was the same with me. If she's there, then who's next to me? She did say she's not. I said it right at the beginning. I'm Shion Sonozaki. My sister's younger twin. Hey, Jen, you even called me Shion, didn't you? Shion, saying that, pouted cutely. What's going on? Tell me, Shion. Not much. I was wondering what kind of person this K-chan you were so infatuated with was, so I happened to give him a ticket to the dessert festa. Then, when I was being bothered by all sorts of troublesome customers, K-chan gallantly appeared and saved me by kicking them off the curb, or something like that. What? What? Both Mion and I raised our voices pathetically, expressing our confusion to the utmost. Mion, you phoned me yesterday, right? I didn't. I have no idea what you're talking about. I delivered that bento for you, didn't I, K-chan? That was me, right? Or was it my sister? The person known as Mion Sonozaki put together a bento and bravely went to a boys' home to deliver it, maybe? Oh, you're bolder than you look, sis. With a loud pop, a trail of smoke began to rise from Mion's head. I don't know. I don't know. See, K-chan? My sister says she doesn't know. So everything up until yesterday was me, Shion Sonozaki. You might have thought it was my sister pretending to be, but this, there's no doubt, right? I couldn't tell up from down at the moment. If there was a mirror around, I could have seen my eyes go wide from the shock. Now, Miss Shopkeeper, could you wrap up that doll in the window? It's the first present for the person I've come to love, so make sure you tie it up nicely with a ribbon. Mion, completely flustered, was being cornered by a sly-faced Shion. My brain had stopped working. What? Kei-chan? What's going on? Well, let's go, Kei-chan. It's already dark out, so I'll see you home. Sis, sorry, but could you phone the house in Okonomi and have them send out a car? Maybe a van we can fit a bike into, please? In contrast to Shion, who had glee written all over her face, Mion was an empty shell and looked like she could burst into tears at any moment. Kei-chan. After that, Mion's grumblings were unrelenting. I feel like we're probably safe from Reina today, but I think Mion's probably gonna go after us with an axe. If we're gonna have someone chasing us with an axe, it's gonna be Mion. It's gonna be Mion. That's all I'm saying, guys. We'd better get out of here. You received a new tip. It hasn't been a while. I'm in danger. Oh dear. Oh dear. New tips. Okay, new tips. Stop saying it's been a while. We've seen each other every day up till yesterday, haven't we? Whatever you say so, we'll go with that. Someone from Shion's house came to get me in a station wagon. I initially refused, but Shion insisted, and so both the bicycle and I ended up stuffed in the car. Said car was currently driving across the single bumpy road leading to Hinamizawa. For goodness sake, Shion was at Mion's level at least. Or maybe even a better actor. Either way, no matter what questions I'd pressed her with, she'd slip out of them like an eel. Still, you two look so alike. If you tied your hair back like Mion does, she'd look exactly like her. Who knows? That's probably what would happen. We're identical twins through and through. In the past, we could just change our clothes and no one would be the wiser. I remember we'd swap places at every opportunity and fooled a whole lot of people. The middle-aged driver wearing a black suit heaved a sigh like he were a butler. What's wrong, Kasai? That was a pretty deep sigh. Excuse me, I was just thinking that you haven't changed. You could see many years of hardship on the man's face through the rearview mirror. Anyway, Kei-chan, your house was around here, right? Kasai doesn't know much about Hinamizawa, aside from the road that goes to the Sonozaki main house. If you leave it to him, he'll take you all the way to Yaguchi. I don't want that. Excuse me, could you stop at the narrow road at the next right? I'll walk from there. He stopped the car at the desired place. The driver, Kasai-san, got my bike out from the trunk for me. Sorry about that. Thank you very much for showing me home today. Was it Kei-san? Your name, that is. Yes. You must be having various difficulties. I believe she'll grow tired soon. Please endure things until then. He gave me a deep, deep look of sympathy. This guy has definitely been dealing with the Sonozaki sisters since they were little kids. He's like, I'm so sorry. However, like Mion-san, she's a kind person at heart. That means she'll be as much of a bother as Mion, right? The man's face froze in a smile, his reply lost. Hey, back me up here, right? Bye, Kei-chan. We'll see each other again soon. Say hi to my sister for me, too. Maybe I'll start going to Hinamizawa tomorrow. Don't you dare. If you transferred in, I'll transfer out to a school in Okonomiya. Wow, that was really mean, Kei-chan. A short beep of the horn. The man gave a little wave to me from the driver's seat, and then the car withdrew into the dark night roads, leaving dust in its wake. This entire day made no sense. I ran to Mion while I was with Shion, and the former's expression, like a pigeon shot with a pellet gun, had finally begun to make a strong impression on me. Her sister seems nicer, but she's quite the prankster, it seems. She's just as bad, she's just not as obviously... She's just not as obviously playing games with you, but she was totally baiting you that whole time. She's like, how badly can I screw with you? Surprised they're two different people. Almost like someone accidentally spoiled me a few minutes ago. Alright. Next day. It was a strange day, where Mion was desperate to regain her composure. Every time our eyes met, she would say she had something to do or she had to use the washroom and run off. Unable to just watch, Reina was taking care of her the entire time. Mion's acting totally strange today. I know the whole story, but it's hard to explain. There are times when girls are emotionally unstable. It's best to just leave her alone. Turning around, I saw Reina calling me from the hallway. I wondered what it was. Keiichi, over here, over here. What is it calling me over like this? Is it a secret? That is... It looks like it was a disaster. Yeah. Michan seemed pretty broken, but I somehow got her working again. I'm surprised you managed it. How did you exactly? Same way I do with the television. Just come in and for a 45-degree angle and... Yeah! Saying that, she made a chopping motion. I can't tell if... You know I can't tell if you're joking or not, right? Did you just beat some sense into Mion? She'll be fine by tomorrow. Also, there's something I want you to do, Keiichi. I didn't mean to do anything wrong. I still feel guilty, though. I'm listening. Thanks. You see, Michan's just gonna pretend the last few days never happened. Never happened, huh? I see. Well, that's one way to run from it. So you see, Keiichi, could you pretend too? Then Michan can go back to normal. Just doing something as simple as that, is it really gonna be okay? Please, until Michan gets her feelings in order, just go with it. Alright, I got it. Even though I shouldn't have been at fault, for some reason I felt guilty. The one at fault here was the one who knew about the entire situation and pretended to be Mion for an entire day. Shion. She never once said she was Mion. How am I supposed to be angry at, man? He got trolled like fucking crazy by Shion. That was great. What am I supposed to be angry at? Seeing me stomping around impatiently, Reina giggled. But Keiichi-kun, you knew as well. The Michan had some cute things about her. Reina talked in a calm voice as her hair rustled in the wind. Yeah, I know she'll never let it be boring. Good. Good. Following this curt reply, Reina looked up at the sky and stretched. As long as you realize that, Keiichi, these past few days will be nothing more than a story to laugh about. Copying Reina, I began to stretch. As I looked at the sky, the clear sky towered into the distance. There's no club activities or anything today. I'm sorry, Keiichi-kun, but just for today, can you go home by yourself? You'll be all back to normal by tomorrow, so just for today, okay? If all it took for everything to go back to normal was to leave Mion alone for today, then it was an easy decision. Alright. I can't say it directly to Mion, so I'll say it to you. I feel guilty about it, so I want to apologize. Oh, no. The root of the problem was Keiichi is saying something insensitive, right? If you learned anything from this, you need to look a bit into gaining a sense of delicacy. Right, I'll try. That day was the shortest day of my life. Reina was talking to Mion while accompanying her around the entire time. It looked like a really fun conversation, so I reflexively thought about joining in, but I made a promise not to. It seemed Mion was also trying her best to ignore me, so likewise I did my best to ignore her. For the first time in a while, I ate lunch alone. Mion and Reina ate theirs by themselves, and as I let out a sigh in my ashen mood, Rika came over and patted me on the head. Both Keiichi and me learned a whole lot. I'd never say it like that. Made it sound like we were having romantic problems. I didn't like that one bit. Hopefully the teacher wouldn't notice and call us to the staff room after school or something. I'm sure Keiichi will grow up to be a wonderful adult. Pat. Oh no, the sympathy pats. Not the sympathy pats, Rika. Rika's Chad is the studious type, so maybe he'll grow up to be an amazingly wonderful adult. Of course. When I grow up, I'll be super amazing. Hi, when I grow up, I'll be an amazing lady, you know? No matter how old you get, you'll be a brat. I'd put money on that. What did you say? As Satoko snapped her fingers, a washbin fell from above, hitting me squarely in the head. Ah. What do you think you're doing, Satoko? It was a day I could thoroughly appreciate the value of having friends. Satoko, legendary trapper. Got like survival plus 10 at level 1. These are the kind of min-maxers we're dealing with. Alright. So, we've met Mion and Shion. Both wonderful people, and hopefully we can patch things up with Mion after so rudely disrupting her. Today was Saturday, so school ended in the blink of an eye. It really felt good to go home with the sun so high in the sky. On any other day, our club would have been up to mischief during our ample after-school time, but today Rika-chan had a rehearsal for tomorrow's Watanagashi to go to. How's that going, Rika? Do you have it down in practice? I'll try harder than last year. You were so exhausted and sweaty after last year's ceremony. She'll look far more fit for the role this year. Please look forward to the fruits of her training. The Watanagashi festival everyone had been talking about was tomorrow. Alas, we aren't going to make it, are we? The festival being in June felt a little early to me, but the onset of summer came quickly this year, so it fit the image of a summer festival pretty well. Yeah, speaking of summer's coming on, holy shit, it's like only May and we're at like 30 fucking degrees here. Holy shit. We'll be off then. Look forward to tomorrow. Good day to you. Satoko and Rika waved to us energetically and then left. You know, I never asked, where is the festival anyway? I don't remember there being anywhere around here that seems suited for hosting one. They do it at the Furude Shrine. We went there for a walk one day, remember? It was a place with a really good view. Oh, right, I remember. There was a shrine all the way up on that hill, wasn't there? It seemed far too grand for Hanamizawa. There's a great meeting hall in the shrine, too. The other older people get together there and sing karaoke or practice calligraphy from time to time. It's more like a recreational facility than a civil shrine. I see. Hololive Simp's gonna Hololive Simp. I mean, you do you. Of course. Of course. I guess, well, it makes sense that it looks so grand then. If it's serving multiple roles, yeah, that makes sense. Hey, Chin, is your family gonna help set up today? Yeah, there's probably a lot of setup. Yeah, we have male hands for that. Most of our relatives come from town to help. Male hands. Well, I mean, I have nothing to do at home today, so... Would it be a problem if I squirmed my way in there to help out too? Huh? You want to help us, Kei-chan? Not if it'll bother you all. I was just kind of interested. We had bond dances and other festivals in the town I used to live in, but I didn't even know where they took place, much less wanted to help. You could say I had absolutely no connection to the region. Having come to Hinamizawa, though, it really made me feel like this place was a home I'd returned to. Before I knew it, I harbored a little interest in the small community activity of preparing for a festival the day before. I wonder if you'll be able to, Kei-chan, or Keiichi-kun. There's a lot of building tents and setting up chairs. I hear it's pretty hard physical labor. I mean, I wouldn't be doing it all alone, right? The more hands we have, the faster it'll go. Mion looked happy to hear that, but at the same time, her expression was complex, tinged with hesitation. Reina gave her the last push for me. It's decided then. You should go for it, Keiichi-kun. He's all yours, Michan. Put him through the ringer. Well, I can't argue with a recommendation from Reina. Alright, go home first, put on some work clothes, and come to the shrine. Oh, and you might want to bring a towel to wipe your sweat, too. Got it. I might look scrawny, but I'm actually quite like breaking a sweat under the hot sun. Who the hell likes doing that? Please, be honest. Careful you don't hurt your back, okay? Right, enough of my old man spiel. I'll go to the shrine, too, as soon as I've changed. Hey, Chin, do your best, too. Bye! Mion waved vigorously to us and left. As far as I could tell from her gallant retreating figure, she seemed to have recovered from the weak state she was in yesterday. Girls are quick to get over things. Michan's already fine. Right, are you sure? We didn't issue an apology, are you sure? Her switching back to normal so cleanly makes it easy for me to talk to her. It's kind of funny though, wasn't it? Kind of like Cinderella? Like, you can't meet her anymore once the magic wears off? Reina began to giggle a bit in amusement. Did she like this sort of thing? Incidentally, me going along with it gave me a weird, hard to describe feeling. Did I turn myself into a plaything, or did they do it for me? If you think it's so funny, you should try pretending to be a different Reina, too. Yeah, that sounds like fun. Keiichi-kun, what kind of Reina would you want to meet? One with a bust size of at least 90. Huge knockers that you're okay with me touching. can't do that. She'd be great at cooking. Make me lunch. Come to see me in the mornings. I do that already. I pull Reina's head into a tight grip, then start to pet it. You're Reina Ryugu, right? Reina, not Reina? So just stay as Reina forever, okay? Thanks. Have fun helping set up the festival. You got it. We'll meet up tomorrow. Alright. I got changed right away, and slinging a towel around my neck like Mion suggested, I set off for the shrine. Keiichi's fitting in quite well. Seems to really like the village. Does this mean he doesn't get murdered? At the shrine, there were more people than you'd imagine even live in Hinamizawa there. All cordoning off areas, setting up tent frameworks, chatting amongst themselves as they did so. Alright, so where's Mion? The liveliness of the throng didn't make it easy to look for her. I searched around as if I'd already worked there. And suddenly the principal called out to me. Hi, it isn't my Barakun, interesting. Have you come to help with the setup? Yeah, hello? Yeah, I was just wondering if there's anything I could help with. How commendable your attitude is. Feel free to sweat to your heart's content. That's the principal that beat us unconscious, right? In the first round? Spurred on by the principal, I came upon a group of people setting up tents. Oh, what's this? It's my Bara-chan. Did you come all this way to help us? I hadn't found Mion yet, but I suppose I'd just get in her way if I ran into her. Yeah, I'm here to help. Just tell me where you need me. Oh, you young ones have all the vitality. Here, grab some work gloves. Ever build a tent before? Nope, never. Wait, didn't he say he went camping? Hasn't he said he went camping before? On multiple occasions that his parents really like to camp? How the fuck has he not put up a tent before? He went camping. That's literally like #1 thing you do when you go camping. Put up a tent so you have somewhere to sleep. Delighting in teaching a new skill to someone younger, plenty of people happily taught me all sorts of things. Okay, kid, go inside the tent and tie up just the cords for the top. After that, we'll stand it up and tie it like the rest. Tie the rest of them. Okay. Butterfly knots are okay, right? There and there. All done? We're standing it up. 1, 2, 3. What was once nothing more than a collapsed tent was raised on 4 splendid legs before my eyes in mere moments. Seeing it put together like this is actually pretty moving. Come on, no time to stare and wonder. We got a lot more to do. We packed the tents into the truck, so get them from there. They're heavy, so take someone with you. I'm good. I look scrawny, but actually pretty strong. What? They look light enough, so I thought they were, but they're heavy. I told you to have someone help. Come on. The man lifting it up with a grunt, taking it away under his arm. Either I'm weak or these old guys have superhuman strength. Let's go. You're the youngest here, so we're gonna make you sweat for it. Do your best. Beer after work is the best. I'm a minor. Beer after work is still the best, apparently. Sweat dripped from my body. I'd been fully and completely absorbed in helping them. I'd never have thought the cold barley tea from the Women's Society could taste this delicious. I've never had barley tea. You're so young. Make sure you drink a lot. Thank you. I've never had barley tea. I wonder if it tastes any good. It was then I realized a crowd had formed near the shrine a ways off. When I got closer, I saw a girl dressed in shrine maiden garb and a handful of old men looking like they're preparing for the ceremony together. Is that Rika? Hey, Rika! Do your best! I shouted, and it seemed like she heard me. Rika in shrine maiden outfit. Positively exploding with vitality, she answered with a smile. The older guys with me watched Rika as well with distant gaze. Rika Shema is doing a great job. She seems far more used to this than she did last year. The old lady who gave me the tea clasped what looked like prayer beads in her hands and said, Rika-sama, we thank you, we thank you. And just like that, began to respectfully pray to her. What? I just remembered they called it the Furude Shrine. Wasn't Rika's full name Rika Furude? The man standing next to me answered my question. That's right. Rika-chama's Furude clan is ancient and honorable, and has worshipped Oyashiro-sama for generations. Huh. I always got the feeling she wasn't quite average, but it turns out she's from an esteemed family. Yeah, I guess they're esteemed, sure. We'll go with that. After her father, who is the shrine priest, died the year before, she's really been doing her best to learn the rituals. I wish the priest could have been here to see how wonderfully she's grown up. What? Rika's father passed away? Okay, break time's over. Let's get the chairs we're not using back to the gym in Okonomiya. Maki, pull the truck around here and take a few people with you. Alright, my bar, let's get to work on one last job. Ugh. You're gonna make me do more work? I can't tell if they know I'm a minor or not, but the older man all cheer me on, encouraging me to do my best and that the beer will be great. Here in the country, people don't follow the laws in the country. That's why it's so terrifying. Kei-chan working hard, I see. I passed by Mion. She was carrying a big cardboard box. It looked like she was right in the middle of working as well. Judging by the sweat seeping into her shirt, it seemed I wasn't the only one with their hands full. Yeah, I'm working my ass off. You work hard too. The beer's gonna be great. Ha 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 ha! We were worked to the bone until the sun began to set, and it started cooling off. Are we getting paid in alcohol? It was soon full-fledged night, and the clear sound of the Higurashi eased the moderate pain I felt. The older guys began their night before drinking party in a tent a fair bit off, causing quite a ruckus. The shrine grounds, on the other hand, turned into a lonely road, tickled by the cool evening breeze, despite being so festive just a little while ago. The wind felt good. I leaned on one of the stone guardian dogs at the front of the shrine, giving my legs a good stretch as I let my mind wander, and suddenly a paper cup filled with barley tea was thrust before me. Kei-chan, great work. Here's some tea for you. So considerate. Thanks, me. Her voice sounded exactly the same, but it felt somewhat different. Wait, you're... Hey, it's Shion. Don't go giving me on all the credit. She isn't considerate at all. Don't get us confused, okay? Shion, you little... Now that I've caught you, you're not getting away. It was your mistake, Kei-chan. I never said I was anyone other than Shion. I guess I can't argue with that. That's right, you're no match for my older sister. Well, I can't let you be a match for me, either. Anyway, your tea. It's going to get warm. Come on, cheer up. I'm trying to make it up to you with this tea. She trolled the shit out of us. Trolled the shit out of us so hard. But look, it was a fun day. Come on, we enjoyed ourselves, right? Let's still have fun with Mion. Or Shion. Shion, yeah. Well, she did come all the way here to give it to me. I guess I'll accept it. I took the cup and downed it in a gulp. And then suddenly, I heard a shout, and it got stuck in my throat. Which one is it this time? Is it the real Mion? Shion! Why are you hanging with Kei-chan again? Because unlike you, I'm very considerate. Kei-chan was so sweaty, I couldn't leave him alone, so I brought him some tea. By the way, why are you holding 2 cups of tea? Mion's face went bright red, and she tried to hide the paper cups behind her back. This is, There's no way you, such a rough, timid, good sister of mine, would ever briskly bring a male classmate tea, is there? So, what are they? What are those 2 cups of tea? These are, right. I was just so thirsty, I figured I'd drink 2. That's so like you. Go on, chug, chug! As Shion cheered at her, Mion downed both the cups of tea, one after another. What a fabulous trick that was. I expected nothing less from you. Kei-chan, give her a hand too. Wait, suddenly the situation has gotten unbelievable. Mion doesn't usually get manipulated so easily like that. I've known for a while now, but Shion is terrifying. Mion, you can't hold your own against Shion? I hate her! And I lately hate her even more. Just then I heard the snap of a camera shutter. Good evening. The festival's coming up tomorrow. Thanks for all your hard work setting it up today. So, Shion and Mion exist, and Shion's the master manipulator of the two. Ooh. Whew. Yeah, Mion's on a losing streak then. Damn. She's like 0 for 2. At least in our view. against Shion. Damn, like, Shion fucking wrecked her. Thanks for all your hard work setting up today. Alright, thanks. Good evening. Oh, Shion-chan. It's quite unusual for you to come here. Hey, it's Tomitake and Takano. Yeah, I haven't seen you guys this game. Good evening, it's been a while, hasn't it? So you're that transfer student I've been hearing about, Keiichi Maibara-kun, right? You really did a bang-up job today, I'm impressed. Ooh, this is the first time we've met him. This is an alternate route and not filler. Alright, and not fill-in. Interesting. A new timeline. I feel like I've seen this photographer before. Have we met before? I'm glad you remembered. We've passed many times on the road, Keiichi-kun. I'm Tomitake. I'm a freelancing photographer from Tokyo. You recognize me? I'm sorry, I don't. She's Mio Takano-san. We didn't know who it was last time at all. We had literally no clue who this was. Okay. You remember when you were at the doctor's office when you still had a cold, Kei-chan? Mio-san's one of the nurses who works there. Okay. Call me Takano. I'm pleased to meet you. I wonder if she squeezed over them like in the shrine storeroom. That's very thoughtful of you. Tomitake seemed to be quite entertained at the Sonozaki twins being in the same place and took picture after picture. I've heard about them, but this is the first time I've actually seen a pair of identical twins. You really do look exactly alike. We're not just alike on the outside, see? Our underwear matches too. You idiot, what the heck are you doing? Things have never been as lively as when the two of them are together. I thought they were exactly the same at first, but I've started to get a handle on which is which. Mion is Mion, and Shion, well, she seems a far better actor than Mion was. In the first place, somebody who could spurn Mion so easily wouldn't have shown such weakness to those lard buckets at Angel Moore. Somebody that could spurn Mion so easily wouldn't have shown such weakness to those lard buckets at Angel Moore. If that was the case, then the cowardly behavior from the day, it was all a complete act. That's right, she's acting even more alike when they were little. I hear that even their parents had a hard time telling which was which. That's easy to imagine. I totally understand what they must have gone through. Nakano gave me a kind of odd look, but explaining would have been a pain, so I didn't bother. Tomitake, are you going straight back to Tokyo after you get your pictures of the festival? Yeah, though I'd rather stay here forever. Silly adult things, that's all. I hope your photos win a fabulous prize soon. I've been praying for it. Thanks. Next time I come, I'll bring the pictures I took of you all today. Hi, Barakun, you did a lot of work today. You must be tired from the labor you're not used to. Well, I am tired, but it was pretty fun. Well? Ah, youth, I'm so jealous. Nakano smiled with an adult elegance that no one in my circle of friends possessed. The wind caught her hair. She gives off an intelligent beauty. Oh, hello everyone. It seemed our merry crowd was standing out. This time an overweight older man addressed us. And again, it was someone I thought I knew. If I recall correctly, he's a policeman, isn't he? Oh, Uishi-san. Good evening. Doing a preliminary security inspection for tomorrow? Something like that. Oh, if it isn't Tomitake, it's certainly been a while. I'm honored you remembered my name. You really do love Hinamezawa, don't you? The apartments around here are far cheaper than the ones in Tokyo. You should just move here and get it over with. I know a realtor I can introduce you to. I appreciate the thought. I'd very much like to follow up on that. Alright everyone, have a good year. And Happy New Year to the Sonozaki twins too. Happy New Year, Detective Uishi. We appreciate your work. We'd like to end this year's festival with the least amount of inconvenience possible. That's pretty strict on me. Detective Uishi left us with a low laugh and headed off to talk with some police officers standing a ways away. I gave Mion a glance and saw her making an annoyed face as if she were glaring bullets at someone she hated. Yeah, It'd be nice if the police didn't have anything to do during Watanagashi this year. You like this place too, don't you? Oh, you mean to say you dislike it, Jiro-san? I quite enjoy such fantastic stories, you know? Especially with the times being so dry and uninteresting. The curse of Oishishiro-sama, you mean? Curse? Tomitake used a troubling word. Then suddenly someone tugged on my arm. Kei-chan, I'm pretty hungry. Want to go to the tent with the drinks and have some candy and sweets? I'm up for that. I've gotten a little hungry as well. Okay, let's go. A moment later, Shion said something to Takano and Tomitake that stung my ears and gave me a start. I wonder who will die and who will disappear this year. I pulled back from Mion's grip and stopped abruptly. Shion, what did she just say? It felt like the air around us dried out all of a sudden. Let's go, Kei-chan. They're talking about something silly anyway. You still haven't told Kei-chan? I make it a point not to spread stories like that. Shion's cold and quiet tone, and Mion's harsh voice were quite the contrast. Wait, hold on. What are you guys talking about? If you know something, tell me. It doesn't feel right being the only one left out, you know? I don't understand. Someone explain it to me. However, Mion didn't seem to be at all willing to grant my request. She squeezed my hand in hers a bit, but when she realized I would hold my ground on this topic, she let go. I'm gonna go to the drinking tent first then. If you don't come soon, Kei-chan, there won't be any left for you. I get it already. I'll be there soon. Mion left, trotting towards a particularly noisy tent on the other side of the shrine grounds. Before she got there, she stopped and turned back around. I showed no signs of going after her, though, so she ran off. I could tell you if you haven't heard, I suppose. But it might be smarter not to ask and go with her to eat dessert. Hey now, you've already got my full attention here. I'm not gonna leave without asking at this point. I think Kei-chan has the right to hear this too. My sister was just stealing that from you. Mion's voice was bristling with thorns as if somehow blaming Mion. What on earth are you talking about? I don't really like people acting so self-important. Takano, realizing how prepared I was, looked across the group, and after confirming there's no objections, opened her mouth. Do you believe in curses, my Farakun? Curses, you say? I think they're interesting, but I don't really. I felt their cynical stares and winced. It was like they were telling me it was stranger not to believe in curses. You're not wrong, Kei-chan. Curses are just superstition. It's only natural you wouldn't believe in them. Besides, you can take all the time you need to decide whether to believe in curses after you've heard us through. Said Takano-san, giving us a little smile. They're trying to scare me. At least that's what it feels like. Alright, I'll start. Keiichi, do you know about the Hinamizawa Dam project? Yeah, the other day at Angel Mort, Shion, or Mion rather, told me all about it. You mean the plan for the giant dam that'd flood all of Hinamizawa, right? Right. Residents of the town banded together to fight it, and after a fierce battle with the government unfolded. Yeah, I've heard that too. The entire village united, using the power at their disposal, mass media, political influence, and other things. They fought the country. The way Mion described it, it sounded like a boast. Oh, you know quite a bit about it. Yeah, you're right. It's practically an epic tale, just how 1,000 or so villagers banded together and rejected the government's plans. Did you hear this from my sister? She likes this kind of epics, you know? Yeah, she told me. There was, however, an office for the Hinamizawa residents' opposition faction. It was the shrine. You know, the assembly hall? That's what it used to be. Now the whole thing's over, the senior citizens just use it for group activities. At the time, though, it was their last bastion. Nakano explained this, pointing a finger towards the assembly hall. I'd been carrying things in and out of there all day. I mean, I'd understand if they put an office like that in the mayor's house or something. But on shrine grounds, it made it feel like it was a base camp for Sengoku period warriors. It was basically the mindset, though. Placing the main force in the shrine dedicated to Oyashiro-sama, Hinamizawa's guardian deity, was like a prayer for victory. Oyashiro-sama. That was definitely it. They mentioned him and his name, his curse before. Is it the same Oyashiro-sama? Do you know about Oyashiro-sama, Keiichi? It's the name of the god worshipped at this shrine. It's said he protects all of Hinamizawa. Well, I don't really know much about him. I see. I think Takano knows more about the rest. Hey, you're it. Okay, so... Well, that's generally the whole story. Oyashiro is the ancient god passed down in Hinamizawa, and the villagers say he's protecting this sanctuary from the poisons of the outside world. Essentially, he is your basic, standard guardian deity. I guess you can find that sort of god anywhere you go. There's research into whether worshipping Oyashiro is a manifestation of a kind of elitism, too. What I mean is, the worshippers might think of themselves as chosen people. Believing yourself chosen, a nationalistic belief you're part of a superior race, or that you're a special clan chosen by the gods. They believe they're a superior clan, but they also believe in cooperating with others. But they end up being exclusionary towards other clans. I won't go up into too much detail, but it's the sort of national and religious ideas that lead to war. Of course, that goes for Japan too. A long time ago, the people of Hinamizawa strongly believed themselves different from humans, that they were above them. They believed interaction with the lower world would sully their souls, so everyone believed if one from the lower world came to the village, they'd be sullied and suffer the wrath of Oyashiro-sama. Apparently that kept everyone away. Villages that hate outsiders come up all the time in Kindaichi novels. This was once a run-of-the-mill village of xenophobes. Well, they'll deny to preserve their pride. It was a long time ago, after all. Things are different now. Shion followed up quickly, having sensed the thorns in Tomitake-san's words. Tomitake, embarrassed at what he said, scratched his head. But this shrine worships Oyashiro-sama, thinks of Hinamizawa as holy ground, and it's the symbol of their traditional hatred for the outside world. I get it. That's why they chose the shrine as their base of operations, to resist the sullied dam construction project from the outside. Correct, smiled Takano, pleased. She must dislike stupid people. Superstition, every last bit of it. The villagers gave everything, desperate to oppose the dam construction. And right in the midst of it, the incident drove home the finishing blow. Oyashiro-sama's curse. The person managing the construction site of the dam was murdered 4 years ago, I believe. It took the newspapers by storm, do you remember? No, not really. He'd be like, what, 10? He'd be like 10? The fuck remembers that shit if it's like local news for someone. He had a fight with a subordinate and was beaten to death with a pickaxe. His limbs and head were torn off and the remains disposed of. One of those dismemberment homicides. They were all the rage at one point. Such a gruesome incident. But it was just that, an incident. A person caused the incident after all. Should they really put it down to the curse? I mean, that's not the curse part, right? That's not the curse part. The curse part's coming up next. Then the following year, the man who organized the dam proponents. Hinamizawa, specifically his group of dam proponents, he fell from a cliff while on vacation and died. Apparently, an accident. Of course, Hinamizawa was hostile towards him. The police were all over the case as if it were a homicide, but in the end, it was judged an accident. Now it's an accident. Alright. This is the most curse-like one, but it's still far-fetched. And then the next year, this time the priest of this shrine contracted an unknown illness and suddenly died. This may sound a little rude, but the old priest was kind of a wait-and-see type. The whole village was in an uproar about the dam, but he kind of just didn't seem to want to bother. The shrine was the symbol of the opposition movement, and its priest, well, his attitude worked against him. The village at the time hoped for a leader, but their hopes were betrayed. Some people were apparently pretty angry, too. At the time, all the older people were like, "It's the curse." That's what they said, at least. It did seem like every year, dam-related people the village had resentment towards were dying. It was pretty creepy. Oh, and also, it's interesting, all these incidents and accidents always happen on the night of the Watanagashi festival. What? See? Starting to sound like a curse now, isn't it? Then the year after that, in other words, last year, the sister-in-law of the man who was the leader of the dam proponents, the one who instantly died, was discovered dead, having been beaten to death. Of course, they caught that criminal. See? It really seems like a curse, huh? 4 years in a row. Each of the incidents and accidents were relatively commonplace, but every single one of them on the night of the festival worshipping Oyashiro-sama? That's not normal. The old folks have been blindly accepting Oyashiro-sama's curse because of the incidents these last few years. Even younger people too. At first they thought it was stupid, but now nobody makes fun of it. They're all just like, yeah, the curse. I can see where she's coming from. Even me, if I didn't think there was a curse at all, thinking about the incidents like this makes me feel, maybe it's real? For example, just look at the preparations for the festival you're doing today. Everything might have gone crazy during the battle against the dam, but a few years ago, the festival was never this well attended. I guess you're right. If we didn't have Oyashiro to talk about, we wouldn't be all coming to a festival like this, would it? There's a lot of people who say infidels might be punished, so they really need to go to the festival. Shion nodded as if she were mocking herself. So how about now, Keiichi? You're starting to get the feeling that maybe the curse is real, aren't you? I mean, you can't laugh off people related to the project dying like that. If even I feel like this now, then the more superstitious members of the village must feel stronger than that, right? Yeah, that's fair, Keiichi. That's fair. I think that's true. I mean, I still don't think there's a curse. I can understand those that believe there is, though. Yeah, it's a creepy series of coincidences. It's less impactful because I've already read the story, but... Or at least the... concept. Wow, Kei-chan, you really can keep a cool head about this. Shion grinned, realizing I'd rejected the curse. It's neither a curse nor a coincidence, then. What should we make of these incidents? Nakano said, smiling playfully as if posing a riddle. Neither curse nor coincidence. It's murder. If every year someone's dying, what do we make of that? Tomitake, catching on to the fact I had no idea what to make of it, opened his mouth and came to my aid. Nakano is suggesting it might be the work of real people. Some good old-fashioned murder. Simple process of elimination would have gotten me there. I was a little taken aback at not having realized the answer immediately. Well, think about it. If it's neither a curse nor confidence, then people must be willingly carrying it out. It's the only explanation, right? Pretty much. I smiled bitterly in spite of myself. Here I was just a few minutes ago thinking the very concept of a curse was absurd. Once he suggested it was someone's doing, I ended up thinking there wasn't a way it could be a person. I mean, wasting away of a quote-unquote disease could easily have been poison. Think about it for like 2 seconds, please. Could have been poison. Oh, I think I apparently need another drink. Poison. Takano was right, though. It was either a curse or a person's doing. Maybe both. If unrealistic things like curses don't exist, the obvious next step is to start thinking it was people. But if that's the case... I glanced at Shion. If the culprit's a person, they'd have to be someone from Hinamizawa. That's what the police officer thinks right now, too. Wait. I can't... I thought I knew the reason Mion didn't want to talk about this. If Oyashiro's Kama's curse existed, that's fine. It'd be divine judgment for the dam project business. However, if the curse didn't exist, which it obviously doesn't, then the culprit would most likely be someone from Hinamizawa. The villagers worked desperately to oppose the dam construction project. I knew they used all sorts of methods to fight against it. If one of those methods was... maybe? People whisper the curse could be the doing of a secret group in the dam resistance movement. Shion dryly put the words, my exact thoughts. Of course, I didn't expect it. She was from Hinamizawa. I didn't think she'd come out and say it herself. If you calm down and think about it, anyone would come to the same conclusion. That's true, it's really straightforward. There wouldn't be a motive for anyone but the people who benefit from opposing the project, right? That's true. Admitting the existence of a darker side of the dam conflict would be rude to Mion, who spoke of it so highly. Mion thinking conflict is always glorious. I couldn't just accept Shion's seemingly logical viewpoint. One more thing, the police probably don't know this. There's proof someone from Hinamizawa committed these crimes, and the people of Hinamizawa know it. Wait, what? Shion rebukes me to keep my voice down. Sorry. This proof. What is it? It's the fact one person dies and one more disappears. One more person disappears? Did that mean someone besides the one who died was a sacrifice? What do you mean by disappear? They just vanish and you never see them again? That's right. Suddenly and without a trace. As she spoke, Shion pretended to do a trick with her hands like she was making a magician's hat disappear. Whew. They're gone. One dies mysterious death, and one disappears, never to be seen again. A strange vanishing act. But then... why does that equate to someone from Hinamizawa being the culprit? Well, actually, Hinamizawa has this one really old legend. It's about how people offer sacrifices to Oyashiro-sama to calm his wrath. Sacrifices? Yes, they say they used to wrap a living person in a bamboo mat and let them slowly sink into a bottomless swamp. Takano, though, explaining something pretty terrible, has a look of glee on her face as she did so. As far as I can glean from the literature, it actually took 3 days and 3 nights for them to sink. See, even people a long time ago liked symbolism. As the bodies sank, Oyashiro-sama's anger would be quelled. Both were submerged into the deep. Takano was only laughing at this. Is the only one laughing? Is she telling a joke or something? Shion didn't move to deny it, but I felt a difference in temperature between her expression and Takano's. This whole conversation, well, I think you can imagine after hearing it, but the secret history. It's the secret history of Hinamizawa. Everyone who's been in Hinamizawa for a long time knows it, but they don't talk about it. Takano's not from here, but she knows quite a lot. She really likes local history, folk legends, stuff like that. She learned about it by herself, too. I'm really not all that amazing. Just curious, that's all. Like a child. I want to see scary things for the fun of it. Tomitake-san laughed, a little bit embarrassed. Wait a minute, what does that mean? The other person who disappears during the incidents, you're saying they're offered as a sacrifice? Yep. Shion answers it in one word before anyone can speak. Someone dies and someone disappears. 2 murders. Well, whether they actually get sacrificed or not is a different issue. Every time something happened in the past, one person died and another disappeared. For example, the first one, where the dam site manager was killed, apparently one of the people responsible for that still hasn't been arrested. Couldn't that just mean he managed to get away? I don't see why we treat him as a sacrifice. Well, that's what I think too. There's also the year after that with the leader of the dam proponents. He said he fell from a cliff and died on vacation, right? Apparently his wife fell as well. The police investigated, but they never found her body. The river under the cliff was actually pretty high at the time, though. She could have just been buried under sand at the bottom of a lake downstream or some shit. Fair enough. Perpetrator of a dismemberment like that wouldn't want to be caught, so they'd be desperate to hide, too. I thought I'd heard cases where the corpse wouldn't surface after the person drowned in a swelled river like that. She vanished because of an unfortunate incident, but I still don't see the connection to the sacrifices. If you look at each of the past incidents in turn, none of them disappearances invoke a terrifying image. The year after that, with the priest suddenly falling ill, is much clearer. His wife left a suicide note. They found it in their house the night the priest died, saying something about the lines of her quelling Oyashiro-sama's wrath through her death. The curse seems to turn up, at least in this third one, though. Yeah. And we may never know the truth of the matter. The swamp the wife drowned herself in was the giant bottomless one Takano mentioned. The police investigated, but all they could find were several of her possessions. They had never found the corpse. The police suspect it was a fake suicide, and they're still investigating it. Someone dies every year, and in the same way, someone goes missing every year. Is she trying to tell me everyone who vanished was kidnapped by an extremely efficient means and dumped into the bottomless swamp, still alive, drowning to death? But a curse? That's unbelievable in its own right. Next year, what was it? The dam proponent's sister-in-law? She was killed. And the same way, someone disappeared. It was a boy around my age named Satoshi Hojo. He's the nephew by marriage of the woman killed. Shion cut in with a slightly strong tone of voice. She knew the boy who disappeared pretty well. At least, that's the vibe I was getting. That about sums everything up. One person dies, one person disappears. Leaving the suddenness aside, the fact was that each incident involved one person disappearing. That means the first person who dies is because of the curse, and the second is because the villagers sacrificed them. Is that it? Kei-chan, there's no curse. Somebody kills the first person under the guise of the curse, and someone takes away the second person as a sacrifice. But Shion, that means the criminal's in the village. That's what I've been guessing from the start. It's pretty shocking though, you know? We live in the Showa period. It's hard to believe people are committing murder like it's nothing, using some ancient justifications, huh? It didn't have anything to do with our discussion, but I got the feeling that maybe Shion didn't like Hinamizawa that much. And the worst thing is, to my knowledge, Reina and Mion are both in it. Mion enjoyed talking about Hinamizawa and its epic tales. So she had avoided talking about Oyashiro-sama's curse, which didn't paint Hinamizawa in a good light, no matter how you look at it. So Mion is like... Mion and Shion disagree because Mion's one of the killers? Alright. She's trying not to give me a bad impression of the village, so she didn't want to say anything. Shion, on the other hand, was somehow different. She wasn't rejecting the concept of the curse to purge Hinamizawa of a bad impression, but rather because she believed that a member of the village was the criminal behind this. Her convictions seemed removed from the tight sense of community held by the people of Hinamizawa. Once upon a time, they looked so alike you could mistake one for the other. But talking to her now, I was getting a powerful feeling that Shion had a completely different personality than Mion. I like Shion even more than everyone else. They all think someone from Hinamizawa did it, right? Neither Shion nor Takano answered. The deafening silence told me all that needed to be said. Let me ask another question. If someone from Hinamizawa is the culprit, then who is it? Neither Shion nor Takano had a reply to that question either. Though it may have been rude to ask, I hoped they wouldn't have one. The reason I asked was to argue their explanation, but that the culprit was from Hinamizawa was nothing more than one possibility. Shion caught onto my plan, and she gave a pained smile at my petty spite, opening her mouth to speak. Ha, all I said really amounts to circumstantial evidence anyway. If any of us who knew who it really was, we'd have gotten them into police hands already. As would anybody. Then what about Takano? She too smiled dryly as Shion had and opened her mouth. Well, I'd like to clear one thing up. I'm not a detective or anything, right? In all honesty, I'm not interested in who the culprit is. Takano, you sure are a handful. Tomitake gave a bitter laugh at her surprising opinion on the matter. You see, I just like cruel and atrocious ancient traditions and fairy tales. I only enjoy them from a curious onlooker's perspective. Even for this string of incidents, it's not so much finding the culprit, but enjoying thinking about how old traditions, displayed by the incidents themselves, still seem to have some pretty deep roots around here. Though she described herself as nothing more than an onlooker, her smile was as sharp as the tip of a blade. Women like her felt very strange, and more than a little scary to me. Maybe it's just I'm in fearful awe of the person whose emotions I couldn't comprehend. Well, I don't think any of this is interesting at all. The Watanagashi festival is coming up tomorrow, and I don't want anyone to die or disappear. Tomorrow. That's right. It completely slipped my mind. That's right, someone's gonna die tomorrow. The string of murder incidents people attributed to the curse, it wasn't over. If last year's incident wasn't the end, then someone tomorrow night at the festival would die. Who would disappear? Who would die? I wonder who will die and who will disappear, though. Takano said, running a comb through her hair with elegant movements, with a thin smile and a voice that nearly made me shudder. She almost looked like she was enjoying the thought of the incidents that could happen tomorrow. Out of the blue, we heard a loud round of applause. They seemed to be ending the drinking party early. Right, I was making Mion wait this whole time, wasn't I? I should go back to her soon. You're teasing the kid too much, Takano. Now Keiichi thinks it's all true. I apologize. It's that bad habit of mine again, said Takano, sticking her tongue out bashfully. The strangeness in her expression was nowhere to be found. When Takano sees an innocent child like you, she can't help but wanting to poke fun at them. It's a real bad habit. Keiichi, you listened to everything so earnestly, she ended up getting carried away. Unlike Takano, Tomitake seemed like a normal person with common sense. They were apologizing after realizing what kind of impression they'd given me. The stuff Takano said is just fiction. If it made you harbor any bad impressions about the city, we apologize for that. Jeez, Jiro. You apologize too, Takano. Tell him you're sorry for scaring him. Takano and Tomitake were arguing and messing around now. The strained air had already dissipated. Okay. Hey, Chan, you should get going too. Mion's the jealous type. If she sees me, she'll probably start a fight, so I'll just be going home. Really? I'll go see what Mion's doing and apologize for making her wait, I guess. Sorry for being a nuisance, Keiichi-kun. Did you tell Mion we're sorry for boring you for so long? I don't think telling her will make her feel better, but sure. Tomitake and Takano, standing next to each other, both began to chuckle. Okay then, Kei-chan. Let's try and run into each other at tomorrow's festival. We'll see each other. I mean, it's us we're talking about after all. We'll be making so much trouble, it'll be hard for you not to find us. Shion and I said our goodbyes to Tomitake and Takano. But before we could leave, Takano called out to us. Oh, really? Again? Thanks for listening so earnestly to what I had to say. You're just so good at listening. I had a great time talking to you. Good at listening? No, not at all. I was just in a state of perpetual bewilderment from all the shocking topics being thrown at me one after the other. He's getting hammered with a bunch of crazy shit, right? Did you like my story today? Well, it was pretty interesting. And I'll tell you some more sometime, okay? There's a lot of pretty interesting legends and fairy tales about Hanamizawa. Of course, a lot of strange and creepy ones, too. I'll choose a bunch of my favorites and tell you about them. So she's like a local historian. That's cool. I was kind of happy, but kind of worried. I can't help but smile dryly and scratch my head. Keiichi, you can go now. Takano is just messing with you. They say goodbye and run off. I hear Tomitake call up behind him in a clear voice that we'd see each other at the festival tomorrow. See you tomorrow, Tomitake. When I went to the tent, Mion was waiting for me in. She was nowhere to be found. I made her wait so long, maybe she got mad and went home. And after asking adults passing by, I heard she went home talking to some relatives. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. But my regret for having made Mion wait wasn't enough to triumph over the impression Takano and Shion's uncanny story left on me. Serial murder incidents 4 years in a row? Would tomorrow's events make this the 5th? And the possibility that someone was carrying out all this murder under the guise of a curse? The queer tradition of ritual sacrifice entirely unbecoming of the Showa period we lived in. I regretted it a little, though, but it was too late. If none of those stories had anything to do with me, then I should have let Mion pull me away from that crowd. I felt ashamed about letting my curiosity get the better of me. I assume that's the end of our chapter. Let's see, chapter end. New tips from the scrapbook 1, 2, 3, and festivals around the corner. Looks like we got some tips to view first. New tips. Alright, scrapbook 1. Tell me a scary story from the scrapbook. I assume that's what these will be. Oyashiro-sama's curse. Oh, maybe a brief summary of the curse. Okay. In the ancient Onikafuchi village, the anger of Oyashiro-sama was feared above all. However, it's seldom stated anywhere what eventually happens and what sort of divine judgment falls on them when he's angry. From various reports, all hell will break loose. Demons will come flooding out. The miasma from hell will flood outward and kill every villager, letting not a single one escape. The ones evoking images of the village being annihilated stand out the most. These terrifying ideas of divine punishment are in alignment with many other religious beliefs regarding the apocalypse, and it's easy to imagine that they are just ways of convincing people to obey the teachings in order to prevent such an end. Conditions for inciting Oyashiro-sama's wrath are likely the same as the taboos in Onikafuchi village. I believe when an act was performed that violates one of the taboos, Oyashiro-sama was termed angry, and in order to quell his anger, they would perform the aforementioned ritual sacrifice. Okay, scrapbook 2. That was a nice and short one. Human sacrifice ritual. The ritual was a simple drowning involving plunging sacrifices into Onikafuchi swamp, which was considered hallowed. Of the rituals of Onikafuchi village, this one was unique in that the sacrifice would slowly sink over the long course of 3 days and 3 nights. I believe it wasn't so much the killing of this sacrifice that was important, but rather the symbolism of them sinking as the submerging of Oyashiro-sama's anger. And for that purpose, they must have had a passion for learning various methods for keeping the sacrifice from sinking too quickly, to force them to sink slowly. Unfortunately, as far as I can tell from the records, those methods were not recorded. My thoughts are they may have used logs or similar material to create a raft, then set up a scaffold and hung the sacrifice with ropes, letting them sink little by little over time into the swamp. However, if that were the case, it would not be strange if the ritual implements used for such a ceremony were honored as holy and enshrined somewhere. Ooh, we should check the shrine for murder implements. If only we had the option to explore in this game. Alas. Implements used for the ritual. Ritual tools utilized for ancient religious ceremonies are commonly referred to as implements or ritual implements, and even now, some of them are enshrined on the property of Furude Shrine and the 3 families. However, the identifiable tools are all decorative, and none appear to have been used in the rituals governing the dark side of Onigashima Village. As the Edo era came to a close and many traditional rituals were lost, were they lost as well? Or perhaps buried in the darkness? I don't believe so. Both the implements used on the night of the feast of Onikakushi and those used during the sacrificial ceremony must exist enshrined away from the eyes of the masses. Without a doubt, they exist here today, at this very moment, in Hinamizawa. Also, I'm nearly certain where they've been enshrined. What was once locked steadfastly has, for some reason, changed this year to a cheap-looking padlock. Interesting. You may be able to do something about such a lock. However, it's not far from the assembly hall, nor is it ever far from the presence of people. However, I will not give up. The night when it becomes a blind spot to every villager in Hinamizawa is coming soon. Soon it will be Watanagashi. You worn out already? Tomorrow's the real thing. We're gonna be partying until morning, until the very end of it all, got it? Got it, I'll give it everything I got. Alright then, youth is the greatest. Good work, everyone. Tomorrow is Watanagashi at last. Let's get some shut-eye and save our energy for tomorrow. Tomorrow is finally Watanagashi. Festivals are split into two groups, those who enjoy them and those who support them. The former only need prepare their minds, but the latter, not only that, but also painstakingly crafted plans and preliminary arrangements. Yeah, model rigging in Blender, that's fairly time-consuming. While the general majority attempting go about enjoying the festival without a care will be strained the whole way through. Why? You sure as hell know why. Because the beer after everything's over is the best damn beer you'll ever have. Again, our character is not drinking for some reason. At times like these, it's best to have an energetic, physically fit people. It wouldn't be worth it if you didn't do your best until the end, enjoying it the whole way. Oh, he's here. Uishi-san came in. Everyone hurried to stand up. Hello, everyone. Excellent work out there. Fun fact. Would I drink at a time of psychopaths? I mean, one beer probably wouldn't hurt you that much. Although I was gonna say a fun fact is that people used to drink alcohol so much because alcohol is cleaner and thus safer to drink than water. If your drinking water is not clean or safe, it's probably better to drink alcohol and get moisture from food. Get your actual source of water from like food. From like the moisture content in food. That's one of the reasons why people used to drink so much alcohol. If you're living in like a small town that doesn't actually have clean water, alcohol is clean and will kill most bacteria and shit. Safer than drinking water a lot of the time if your water is contaminated. And obviously bottled water didn't exist 300-400 years ago, so it's a practicality thing, although these days drinking that alcohol all the time is probably not considered healthy. Alright. Oh, you can be at ease. Thank you, sir. Not even my seniors, who usually talk big about themselves, can hold a candle to Uishi-san. We all bow as if we are one of those cheering squads of old. Kurado Uishi. A detective just waiting to retire. One who doesn't pay much mind to rules and regulations, and doesn't do too much in the way of real work. He looks like a rotten old man with a penchant for dirty jokes. My seniors, though, tell me he was a real fighter in his younger days, and he may or may not have quite a heroic legend trailing behind him. Anyway, he surely had much more dignity and presence in the room than the section chief who came in with him. Everyone, I really thank you for your hard work on the preparations for the festival tomorrow. Everyone present stood upright and lent their ear to the chief's directions. We're on heavy alert for any thrill-seeking criminals and expecting another incident like last year. I need all of you to focus your energy as much as possible in your mission to prevent any crimes from happening. Yes, sir. Of course, it would be best if nothing happened. However, everyone, please assume that an incident will in fact occur. Prevention is number one, but it probably won't be enough. This year, too, someone will die and someone will disappear. There's really no doubt about it. Everyone apart from the section chief smiled painfully. That won't do. We need to be more serious about this. The important part isn't to get past the night of the festival. It's to be able to quickly, swiftly, and aggressively pursue whatever does happen tomorrow. I won't tolerate anything less than your best. Clench those cheeks! We're gonna rip the skin off the ghost of Oyashiro-sama's curse. Yeah, alright. Looks like the police were definitely expecting something to go down. Let's give ourselves a save. End of chapter 6. And with that, I'm afraid we're going to have to save the rest of Higurashi for next time.